for the latest updates. In the NHL, Detroit Red Wings face the Florida Panthers at 7 p.m., with the Red Wings on XM219 Internet 929, Panthers on Internet 931.
On the court and off, your home for the NBA is SiriusXM. Follow all the drama as your favorite team vies for it all. SiriusXM NBA Radio, SiriusXM 86.
Tampa Bay Lightning head coach John Cooper stopped by for a morning skate with Gord Stellick and Scott Laughlin on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio on SiriusXM Channel 91 to talk the keys to his success over the years and the challenge of getting to the Stanley Cup Final 3 years in a row.
John, I'm going to ask you to be a little bit self-analytical and, being in the business that you're in and knowing how successful you've been and what drives you and motivates you. What do you think has been the key to your success over the years? I mean, every league you've been in, you've won, you've had the staying power, and you've had all kinds of championship pedigree. If you say, hey, look, I'm still going strong, I'm still chasing another ring, what is it that keeps you going, and what is it in particular that you feel has made you as successful as you've been?
I would say there's a couple things. Internally, it's the fire is still burning. As I think that first and foremost is the biggest thing, because when you lose your passion for it, and I've watched it happen to people, then you might as well you should get yourself out, because you're just doing yourself and your team a disservice. So that passion is first and foremost the big thing. I would say on the other side of things, like Jeff Vinnick as an owner, and it kind of goes back to the previous question about stability, and that's one of the things we've had. And so Julian Breezeball was my general manager in the minors and now the NHL. So we've been together for how many years? We had Steve Eisenman in the early part of that, and he kind of was like the mentor. He was the actual one that brought me in, but we've had that stability. Only 2 GMs, but both of them work together. We've had one owner, one coach, basically, since I've been there, one captain, and it's this core group of guys that have all stuck together. And I think we've kind of, I don't know how to explain it, you've kind of passed the coach-player relationship because we've been there so long, and we all just have this common goal of what we need to do. And there's a lot of pride, a lot of passion with the group of guys we have, and then Julian's done a great job of kind of filling in. And when I say fill in, it's like getting the Nick Pauls, getting the Brandon Hagels, guys that are still long-term guys but that weren't, pseudo drafted into our system. And it's, we've been really fortunate that it's worked out the way it has, but I truly believe the stability, the belief, and the passion of the same group of people that have been together, and that's what's really helped us. It takes its toll, both physically and mentally, and I give our players credit, to come back and make the playoffs the next year, but, now we've been one and done for 2 years. We've had some breaks. We've had a little bit of turnover, and we need to get back. We need to get back to those, making some runs in the playoffs. And but I will sit here and say, I'd be remiss to say, those years, they do take a toll, and maybe it has taken a toll in the last, couple of years on us. And but I can tell now that, a couple of years of being bounced in the first round, it's just a different vibe coming in, especially this year of seeing all the players. And there's an energy I haven't felt in a while, and I think part of that is because we have been bounced, in the last 2 years.
SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 brings you expert analysis from former players, coaches, and executives, plus reaction to all the latest news on the only 24/7 station dedicated to the National Football League.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Wednesday, October the 15th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, Detroit Red Wings face the Florida Panthers at 7 p.m., with the Red Wings on XM219 Internet 929, Panthers on Internet 931. Buffalo Sabres face the Ottawa Senators at 7 p.m., Sabres on Sirius XM channels 91 Internet 922, Sens on Internet 939. Utah Mammoth take on the Calgary Flames at 9:30 p.m. Mammoth on Sirius XM Channels 91, Internet 947. Flames on Internet 923. St. Louis Blues take on the Chicago Blackhawks at 9:30 p.m. Blues on XM 220, Internet 944. Blackhawks on Internet 925. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Wednesday, October the 15th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, Detroit Red Wings face the Florida Panthers at 7 p.m., with the Red Wings on XM 219 Internet 929, Panthers on Internet 931. Buffalo Sabres face the Ottawa Senators at 7 p.m., Sabres on Sirius XM Channels 91 Internet 922, Sens on Internet 939. Utah Mammoth take on the Calgary Flames at 9:30 p.m., Mammoth on Sirius XM Channels 91 Internet 947, Flames on Internet 923. St. Louis Blues take on the Chicago Blackhawks at 9:30 p.m., Blues on XM 220 Internet 944, Blackhawks on Internet 925. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Wednesday, October the 15th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, Detroit Red Wings face the Florida Panthers at 7 p.m., with the Red Wings on XM 219 Internet 929, Panthers on Internet 931.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
Iron Mike Keenan, former NHL head coach, came on the morning skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick for SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. That's SiriusXM Channel 91. He was on to promote his new book, Iron Mike, My Life Behind the Bench, and he took some time to talk about his career, specifically the regrets and the influences.
When you get a chance to sit down now and you think back on all these times, any regrets?
Yeah, of course you have regrets. I had the heat turned up quite a bit at my own distraction. So I could have, and I evolved, and even Greg, you just mentioned Greg Gilbert. He said, Mike, you're completely different here in New York than you were in Chicago. So
You're listening to NHL Play-by-Play on SiriusXM.
More than hockey.
The fireworks are in the air. Here comes the confetti from high atop the Joe Louis Arena.
This is Detroit Red Wings hockey. The Red Wings Tonight is brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Confidence comes with every card.
Monday afternoon in Toronto, Mason Appleton scored the game-winning goal with 45 seconds left in regulation as the Red Wings defeated the Maple Leafs 3-2.
Head coach Paul Maurice from the Florida Panthers tied for first in the Atlantic Division with the Boston Bruins and the Montreal Canadiens, but coming off a 5-2 loss to the Philadelphia Flyers.
Live from Little Caesars Arena in the district Detroit, it's the Red Wings and the Florida Panthers tonight.
Detroit Red Wings hockey. Brought to you by Sam Bernstein Law, Corwell Health, Jack Demmer Ford, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, Jack Demmer Lincoln, Detroit area Toyota dealers, Wallside Windows, Meyer, McLaren Health, United Wholesale Mortgage, Feiger Law, Rocket Mortgage, Priority, and Little Caesars. This is Detroit Red Wings hockey.
Make your Halloween a good deal spookier at Meijer with frighteningly good low prices. Get 25% off costumes for you and your little creatures. Select fun-sized bag candy is only $9.99. Indoor party decorations and throws are also 25% off. Perfect for turning your home into a chillingly fun, spooky house. The selection and savings at Meijer are enough to make you go wonderfully batty. You see what I did there? Batty? Halloween at Meijer. Always a ghoulishly good deal better. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
My name is Kim Harrison. I am a 11-year survivor from a bone marrow transplant. We grew up a sports family, and I have grandchildren that play. My goal was just to do everything I could to heal because I want to be there for them. I recommend people never give up because there's always hope. 11 years later, I got the vaccine.
Take a second for the right team at carmanis.org/second opinion or call 1-800-CARMANIS.
Let's face off with Jeff Rieger.
Welcome into the 1-800-CALL-SAM studios as we get you ready for another evening of Detroit Red Wings hockey. Let's face off. Wings trying to make it 3 straight after winning back-to-back games against the Toronto Maple Leafs on Saturday and Monday. New Red Wing Mason Appleton was the hero on Monday. It was a 2-2 game, third period Thanksgiving in Canada, and Appleton found a way to light the lamp with just 45 seconds left in regulation to propel the Wings to their second win of the season. So how big of a thrill was that for the 29-year-old?
It was a big one. Obviously, to win the game, to score the first with a new organization, it's a important goal for the team, an important goal for me. So it felt real good. And we didn't love a lot of that game, but at the end of the season, when you're looking back on your point total, you don't remember how that one went in Toronto. You just remember the 2 points. So win's a win, but a lot to get better on.
Tonight, it's the 2-time defending champion Florida Panthers in town, and despite being 3-0 in the Sunshine State, their only loss of the season has come on the road, which could make things a bit easier for the Red Wings tonight, going for their third straight victory. Wings and Panthers just around the corner. Coming up next, Ken Kale sits down with Red Wings head coach Todd McClellan on the Detroit Red Wings Radio Network.
This time of year, it's all or nothing, and Toyota's got all you need during Toyota Truck Month. Now through November 3rd, get 1.75 APR financing or $3,000 customer cash on a powerful new 25 Tundra. Excludes TRD Pro. Or lease a 25 Tundra SR Crew Max for $409 a month for 36 months with $39.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
In hockey, every win is earned. And at home, the victories are just as real. With J.P. Weiser's whiskey in hand, every moment feels like a win. From midweek matchups to do-or-die Game 7s, Weiser's is there. From the first puck drop to the final buzzer, we're all in. Because it's not just about the team on the ice. Here, it's about us. And when we gather with J.P. Weiser's whiskey for game time, that's a W. J.P. Weiser's, the official Canadian whiskey of the Detroit Red Wings.
Inside the locker room.
Red Wings back home. Tonight they entertain the Florida Panthers at Little Caesars Arena with his pregame show. Red Wing head coach Todd McClellan Inside the Locker Room is brought to you by Meijer. Meijer brings more good to hometown hockey. Well, a 3-2 victory in Toronto against the Maple Leafs on Monday. Todd, how would you break down that game?
A win is a win. We'll take those points at the end of the year. Nobody's going to ask us, how that game really went. But the process is important. We didn't play exceptionally well. I think that was evident. I thought our team was sluggish and we didn't execute well. It was the complete opposite of the game 2 nights before here in Detroit. But your goaltender puts on the same color jersey, and some nights he's got to bail us out. Some nights we need to bail him out, and Talbot's did his job.
When Talbot's playing good, what do you like about the way he plays?
Well, he just looks so confident. He's making the easy saves look easy. He's making the difficult saves look easy as well. And, there was a number of scoring opportunities that they had where he just looked calm in the net. He looked confident. There wasn't a lot of crap laying around his crease after. And I thought he managed the game well, particularly in the third period where we needed to get fresh people on the ice. He got us the whistles that we needed.
Mason Appleton scored the game-winning goal with 45 seconds left in the game. You slotted him up there with Larkin. How do you think he performed?
Well, he's an experienced NHL veteran, and he's been able to play up and down the lineup throughout his career in Winnipeg. It wasn't a tough decision to put him up there. He's played in that situation many times before, and he's been moved around throughout games. So we expected him to have an impact on that line. We're going to continue with him there to start with, at least tonight. And I like the way he plays on both sides of the puck. He's responsible defensively, can also find ways to contribute a little plays offensively or shooting the puck, as we saw the other night.
Lucas Raymond, he was injured, left the game in the second period. What's his status?
Lucas won't play tonight. He's listed as day-to-day with an upper body injury. Put the skates on and did get some leg work in today. We're crossing our fingers for the Tampa Bay game.
Any other changes that you put in the lineup today?
Well, obviously somebody has to go in for Razor, and Elmer's going to go in there. This team is big, strong, especially their fourth line, and Elmer can provide, when playing properly and playing the way he can, some of that strength, that heaviness, the board work. Those are skills that are going to be necessary for tonight, so this should be a great game for him.
James Van Riemsdyk in his first game as a Red Wing scores a goal, and kind of a savvy veteran out there, and his goal was similar, wasn't it?
I thought he had a good night. Couple shifts in, once he settled down. Without training camp, everybody's a little rusty, but he settled down, and you could see his smarts. You could see why he's played for as long as he has. And I thought the goal that he scored was a veteran savvy goal. He made sure everybody thought he was passing, including the goaltender, and then found a way to finish.
Florida Panthers, they played a lot of hockey over the last 3 seasons. Is there any comparison to the way they're playing now to when the Red Wings were winning back-to-back cups back in the day?
Boy, that's an interesting question. Yeah, they have the Red Wings, I think, played a little bit different. These guys really give up possession of the puck and get hunting on the forecheck. I think back to my Detroit days, we wanted to hold on to it a lot more and enter with possession and then take over from there. But their goaltending is important. Their back end is really strong. I remember ours being real good, obviously led by Lidstrom. And then they get key performances out of guys like Maltby, Draper, Franzen, those type of guys that were in our lineup back in 2008. They get some key performances out of those types of players throughout their lineup.
They know how to win, though, right?
Well, they've done it 2 years in a row, and they're shooting for 3. So they've got a big target on their bat. For us, the gauntlet continues. They, the Leafs took them to Game 7 last year. We just had them back-to-back, and now we have the Stanley Cup champs here. So a real big test for our team.
All the best in tonight's game against Florida.
Thanks, Ken.
Around the League, it's coming up next.
Around the League with Jeff Rieger.
Welcome back to the 1-800-CALL-SAM studios. Let's go around the league. Presented by Michelob Ultra, a superior taste worth playing for. Official beer sponsor of the Detroit Red Wings. The Dallas Stars gained a lot of traction last season, making it all the way to the Western Conference Finals before eventually losing to the Edmonton Oilers. So no doubt all of Dallas was excited to see their Stars play their first home game of the season yesterday. And considering they started off the season undefeated with wins at Colorado and Winnipeg, well, that just makes things way more fun for opening night. Dallas hosting Minnesota. Stars already up 2-0 on the Wild second period. Matt Duchene lit the lamp on a power play. Did not know it at the time, but it turned out to be the game winner.
Shadowed by Rossi. A pass from Duchene. He gets it back. Duchene with space. Net front score! With Sam Steele parked in front. Dallas on the power play makes it 3-0.
Stars win at 5-2. They move to 3-0 on the young season, and they'll bring in the Vancouver Canucks tomorrow to try to make it a perfect 4-0 to start the year. This has been Around the League on the Detroit Red Wings Radio Network.
After beating colon cancer, I'm turning setbacks into comebacks. I am Henry.
I'm pain-free and at full strength after spine surgery. I am Henry.
A life-saving delivery ensured my shift could continue. I am Henry.
When you need care to get you back on your game, trust the only care team chosen as the official team physicians for the Detroit Red Wings. Henry Ford Health. We are Henry.
We are Feiger Law, the official law firm of the Detroit Red Wings. For over 70 years, Feiger Law has been your hometown team of trial lawyers for auto crashes, truck accidents, birth trauma, and injuries due to medical malpractice. Let our team of homegrown trial lawyers win big for you. Feiger Law, the official law firm of the Detroit Red Wings. All we do is win.
All we do is win. All right, guys, who brought the boring, overpriced food to the tailgate? Little Caesars Dill Deer here. Try Cheesesteak Crazy Puffs for only $3.99 instead. With delicious sliced steak and onions, they'll steal the show at every tailgate. these taste legit. You should come to every tailgate deal, dear.
Oof, I'll be honest, I don't do tailgates. Too many headlights. For a limited time this NFL season, order cheesesteak Crazy Puffs for only $3.99. Little Caesars is the real deal.
Pizza.
Plus tax where applicable. Available at participating locations for limited time. Prices may vary. Prices higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and third-party online sites.
Need coffee that slaps or munchies that pop? Sheetz has your back and your snacks. Think of us as your neighborhood hangout spot that comes with its own parking, where you can turn your pickups tailgate into a lunch table, chat up your neighbor at checkout, or just roll in wearing PJs. We've been serving fresh, made-to-order stuff since forever, and you're always invited. We're family-owned, community-loved, and delightfully not your average gas station. Ha, not even close. Get ready, Michigan. Why the Sheetz not?
Life is beautiful and fragile. We fall. We get tired. And sometimes we get sick. But with Corewell Health, we are also strong. We fight disease. We battle cancer. We come together. We come back. We push forward. When the body breaks, we break through. Corewell Health. We can.
From the rink.
I'm here with Mason Appleton, and Mason, big win and big game-winning goal by you over the Toronto Maple Leafs. Take us through that play.
You know, it was one of those games where not a lot were going for us, and late in the game we just tried to get a puck to a net, and the block shot kind of came right back out to me, and the goalie, I think, was fading to the other side based on the original shot, and then when it came out to me, it was just on and off my stick as fast as I could put it in the back of the net. Finding
a way to win, isn't that the key when you're not playing your best game?
You know, you look back at it at the end of the season, and you just see the 2 points. You kind of forget how the game went, but you know, you're not going to have your best every night in this league, and 2 points is 2 points. So, like I said, we'll build on that and get better, but at the end of the day, you know, beating Toronto at home and home is very important.
Mason, you always need that great goalkeeping, and Cam Talbot, he was terrific in that game against the Maple Leafs on Monday, wasn't he?
Yeah, Talbot's been great for us. Every game he's been in, he's he gave us a chance to win, and he's been in this league for a long time, and he knows what it takes, and I thought he played a really good game in Toronto.
I was looking at the team special teams play, and the power play has scored a goal in each one of the 3 games thus far. Only allowed 1 power play goal against, so specialty teams are coming around, aren't they?
Yeah, you need good specials to win in this league. Your power play's got to score, and then your PK's got to, can't lose you the game. I think, you kind of pride yourself in keeping teams off the board in those big moments, and there was one against Toronto here where, we had a real good kill late, and not much action, back in Toronto, but I thought our kill's been really good, and we've kind of been building on it.
What's the key, in your opinion, to outstanding penalty killing?
Confidence and pressure. Sometimes when you give up a few goals, you sit back. You don't want to be the one to make a mistake, but when you're playing on your toes and you're all kind of jumping, and it creates a lot less time and space for them, and they get a little flustered, and then you can just roll the next group of 4 out. So it's just getting in that rhythm and keeping it going.
You've done some penalty killing in your time in the National Hockey League. What's it like? Tell the fans, you block a shot, you just can't get off the ice. You got to get out there, and chances are you're going to get hit again.
Blocking a shot never feels good, but at the same time, it's what you got to do in that role, and that's your job, kind of. So it's basically a whatever it takes mindset to keep the puck out of your net, and if blocking shots is what it is, then that's what it is.
It can certainly give your team a lift, good penalty killing, can it?
Yeah, certainly. It can be very deflating if you're continuously giving up goals on the kill, but I think it's been a boost for us so far this season, and, good kills just lead to, good vibes on the bench and just getting in that rhythm and that flow, and it helps.
Mason, speaking of vibes, what's the vibe like in the locker room right now?
It's good. You win 2 important games, and now you're coming into kind of, a gauntlet here with, our schedule, with the quality of opponent, and, we're up for the challenge, up for the task. Florida's a really good team, obviously, with what they've done the past couple of years, but we're going to be hungry and ready to go.
How important is it to win these divisional games?
It's everything. You kind of look at them as 4-point games, so, we got to have our best foot forward, and nothing but a great effort is what we're looking for.
Mason, all the best.
Thank you.
Keys to the game, they're coming up next.
Tonight's Keys to the Game.
Red Wings are back home, and they're entertaining the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. Red Wings, Paul, coming off that 3-2 victory against Toronto on Monday afternoon.
And your guest in the pregame show, Mason Appleton, Ken, I didn't speak enough about him in that victory, again on the road against the Maple Leafs. That diving shot attempt he let it go. But again, just an underrated player. And what have I told you in the off-season? That Red Wings at top line with Dylan Larkin would be Mason Appleton and Emmett Finney. Like, who would ever even predict it or believe that possible? But again, those 2 players both done a good job so far this season, but a great job, Appleton. And again, he's very important in that power play unit. And the thing I like in the penalty killing, the penalty killing unit, is that he's actually out there, and I see him at times. He's pointing to his teammates telling him in a spot like where to go to this area. I'm going out here. Make sure you're a little bit deeper and protect me as well. So he's just not worrying about himself. He's worrying about the unit as a group. That's very important, but you can see why the Winnipeg Jets used him in that situation. But a big chance the Wings now to pick up 2 critical points against the Florida Panthers. Panthers just 1 loss, and that came without Sergei Bobrovsky in net. He will be back in there. Should be a good goaltending battle against he and Cam Talbot.
Yeah, the Florida Panthers 3-1-0. They have 6 points. They started out 3-0, winning all 3 of their home games. Lost to the Philadelphia Flyers. A little bit of a road trip for them right now, but well, these are always a battle, and you always have a target on your back. We've seen it here in Detroit when you win the Stanley Cup.
Well, the thing about that is that's part of it, Ken, is that, but the other side of it is you've got the knowledge. You know how to win the cups. You know how to play. And that's the thing the Florida Panthers have now. They know what to do, and Tom McClellan talks about coming up, and they like to get the puck in deep and get their forechecking game going. They have a style of play, and if they don't live up to that style of play, they hold each other accountable, and that's a powerful force for an NHL team, and that's what you want if you're a head coach in the NHL. You want your players holding each other accountable. We got to play the right way to win the hockey game. We can't afford to do it for any more time. Let's do it right now, but they've got that switch that can hit it. But this is the amazing part of these 2 teams tonight. With Barkov and Kachuk there, the Wings are actually deeper up front, in my opinion, than the Florida Panthers. So, like any team, any game in the Atlantic Division, definitely winnable both sides. So the Wings have a pretty good chance here tonight to stretch their winning streak to 3 games. It won't come easy against the Stanley Cup champs.
Any keys that the Red Wings need here to win this hockey game?
Well, win the special team battle. And again, they're 2 of the better teams in special team. They're both outstanding on the power play. For the best penalty killing goes to Florida Panthers, yet to give up a power play goal against. So the Wings need to take advantage of that. Need another strong performance from Cam Talbot. He has been sensational the last 2 hockey games. Easily our best player in a .925 save percentage.
Take a look at the injury report right now. It is brought to you by McLaren Health, doing what's best, and the only injury we have is Lucas Raymond, and he skated with the team today, so that's a good sign. It's an upper body injury, and he's listed as day-to-day.
And one more thing about the Florida Ken. Their defense gets involved in the offense. Seth Jones, Aaron Ekblad, Gustav Forsing, those 3 guys really like to help the forwards in the offensive zone. The Red Wings' top 2 guys have got to be wary of that and not allow those defensemen to get involved.
The Red Wings have won back-to-back games after losing the opener to the Montreal Canadiens. Both of those wins over the Toronto Maple Leafs. You mentioned Florida 3-1-0. First place right now in a very tough Atlantic division.
And the Maple Leafs bounced back last night with a vengeance. A convincing 7-4 victory on home ice against the Nashville Predators.
So it's the Red Wings and the Florida Panthers. First of 4 meetings on the season, and the Red Wings will conclude their 25-26 campaign against these Florida Panthers in Florida. But should be a good one here tonight. Enjoy the game, everybody. Detroit Red Wings hockey is coming up next right here on the Detroit Red Wings Radio Network.
The weather's about to take a turn for the worse. So turn to Wallside for this never-before offer. Half off every Wallside window plus 81 months no interest or an extra 18% off for cash. Get your new windows fast before the weather turns and save like never before. Half off every window plus 81 months no interest or an extra 18% off for cash. Call 1-800-521-7800 or go to wallside.com.
Face Off Inside the NHL returns, taking you deeper behind the scenes than ever before. See it all from the star-studded Four Nations Face Off tournament.
Us against the world, boys.
To the adrenaline of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
I'm scared of you guys.
With candid interviews and backstage access, experience the sacrifice, the rivalries, and the determination that define NHL greatness.
Just when I thought last year couldn't be topped, here we are.
A new season of Face Off Inside the NHL. Watch now only on Prime Video.
Hey, it's Ken Cal, voice of the Red Wings. There's a homegrown squad that's been around even longer than the Wings. Rose Pest Solutions turned pro over 160 years ago and has dominated pests ever since. Rose safeguards your home or business against pests like bedbugs, cockroaches, rodents, and spiders. Their technicians are also equipped to meet all safety regulations. That's why Rose is an official partner of the Detroit Red Wings. Pest problem? Rose is the solution. Call Rose at 800-966-ROSE or go to rosepestsolutions.com.
Face-Off is just moments away as we pause for station identification on the Detroit Red Wings Radio Network.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Jackets still with it. Here's a one-timer and a score!
Sirius XM 91.
Thursday night hockey coming to you from Little Caesars Arena here in the District, Detroit. The Red Wings taking on the Florida Panthers. First of 4 meetings on the season between these two clubs. Let's take a look at the starting lineups right now. They're brought to you by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. Call us today for a free estimate.
And it will be Sergei Bobrovsky in their goal. He's got 432 wins this national hockey career. Aaron Ekblad, Gustav Forsling back on the blue line, Anton Lundell, Eetu Luosterainen, and Sam Reinhart up front.
That's Amon St. Brown, the fine wide receiver for the Detroit Lions, blowing the horn here at the Little Caesars Arena. Let's take a look at the Red Wing starters right now. Cam Talbot gets the call and goal. He's played all 4 games. He played in relief in that first game against Montreal, started the last 2 against the Maple Leafs, scratching up the end to our right. Axel Sandin, Pellikka, Simon Edvinsson to start the game on the blue line. Up front, JT Compher between Michael Brandt-Nygaard and Andrew Kopp.
The Wings win the hockey game, pick up those 2 very important points. They'll move into a 4-way tie with Montreal, Boston, and Florida. The puck is dropped. The first period is underway.
Big Atlantic Division battle here against the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. The puck is inside the Florida zone. Brandt-Nygaard lost his stick. He was knocked down on the play. Gets a new stick off the bench as the puck comes over to the left side of the ice. Simon Edvinsson now hands it back. Here's Brandt-Nygaard with a quick shot. Save made Bobrovsky. A backhand centering attempt by Compher knocked away. And it's played around the boards by the player Lundell. Lundell, the leading point getter on the Florida Panthers, as Reinhart brings that puck over the Red Wing blue line, has an opening right circle, making his way in, tied up and thrown into the corner there by Brandt-Nygaard. Battle for possession of the puck. Now it's turned over. Here's a feed in front. Sam Bennett with a chance right out in front. He was in close, and Talbot with the first big save of the game.
On the more physical center ice from the National Hockey League is Sam Bennett. They got him from the Calgary Flames. A great deal again for Bill Zito, the general manager. Quick little backhand pass, and Bennett had a clear path to the goal. Engel played perfectly there by the veteran netminder Cam Talbot.
Bennett was Calgary's first-round pick back in 2014. He had 15 playoff goals last year and won the Conn Smythe Trophy.
And well-deserved. He's just been outstanding now these last 2 seasons as the Panthers won back-to-back cups. Puck was not dropped fairly. We'll try it one more time. Sam Bennett stays out there. He's got Brad Marchand on one side, Mackie Samsokevich on the other.
First period of tonight's game brought to you by Meyer. Meyer brings more good to hometown hockey. Red Wings win the face-off, and Mo Sider in behind his own goal lifts it ahead to Emmett Finney. Quick feed over the line to Appleton. He's breaking free. He moves in. He shoots the puck, and Bobrovsky made the big pad save. Even all alone that time on the right side was Appleton, looking for another big one early in this contest.
That'd have been something, a game-winning goal late in this game against the Maple Leafs, and then gets the first goal against the Florida Panthers. He can skate, though, just like Emmett Finney's got great legs. He's a strong skater, and that'll definitely help their chances playing with Dylan Larkin.
It's a good breakout, too, by the Red Wings out of their own zone. No score in the hockey game. A minute and a half gone by. Here's the puck picked up by the player Brandt-Nygaard. He fires it into the Florida Panther zone. It's lifted across by Seth Jones. Pass out the center, broken up by Joe Hansen. Backhands it out to the Florida blue line. Now scooped ahead and into the Detroit end. In after it there in the corner. It's lifted around the boards. And they battle for it around the near side as the Red Wings trying to jam it free to break it. Now Joe Hansen got it ahead. And turning that puck away from Jesper Boquist. Red Wings pick it up in behind their own goal. No score in the opening period. Red Wings attacking right to left in the red jerseys with the white trim. Wings turn it over. It comes back on the blue line. Pass into the slot. Misfiring right there was Evan Rodriguez. Now it's Bernard Docker lifting it up the right side. Out to center ice. Kane doubles it out towards the blue line. Barely onside. Rodriguez drops it for the trailer. Pass across. Was too far in front of Forsling. Forsling outside rim of the left circle. Stick handle shoots the puck through traffic that deflected off a leg in front of Talbot. And the Red Wings taking no chances as Florida had some pressure. Wings lifted down the ice. Now it's back across the Detroit blue line. Swinging after that puck in the corner, Sandin Pellikka. But icing is called against Florida as they shot it in from their side of the red line.
Not a busy night in tonight's NHL. The Ottawa Senators on the road against Buffalo. Ottawa's got to keep Kachuk out. He's going to be gone for about a month with a wrist injury. And the Buffalo Sabres trying to play without Josh Norris. Going to take the Sabres in that game. Calgary Flames on the road against Utah. Calgary lost on home last night. They'll take the Utah team. And then Chicago on the road against the St. Louis Blues. And the Blues putting it together. I think they should beat the Hawks quite handily tonight.
Screen shot from the point by Edvinsson. Rasmussen was providing the screen, went through his legs right to Bobrovsky, who made the save.
Wings have gotten 4 points collectively from the blue line group. 1 goal by Simon Edvinsson. The Florida Panthers have 9 points collectively as a defensive group and just 1 goal scored as well.
All right, I'm going to get my picks in here. I'm looking at your out-of-town scoreboard sheet. I'm going to go with Ottawa tonight, even though they've got some injury problems. I like Utah as well, and I'm going to go with the Chicago Blackhawks.
Ooh, big win for Jeff Blashill and the Hawks on the road against the St. Louis Blues, one of their arch rivals.
Puck down the ice, Rasmussen will lift it up the right wing boards, and now James Van Riemsdyk with a big goal against the Maple Leafs. That made it 2-0 in the third period for Detroit. He's out there for the Red Wings.
I like Elmer Soderblom putting the lineup tonight. He's on that fourth line. That's a big, strong, heavy group of forwards now. That'll cause some problems for the Florida Panther defense. They're out there right now, that group for the Red Wings.
Adjevich got it up the far wing. Luke Kunin along the boards trying to jam it free. And Riemsdyk muscled it ahead, centered it, broke it up, and now at the center ice fighting off a check. Luke Kunin carries over the blue line, moved it into the right circle in the Red Wing zone.
Good job by J.T. Kopp for coming back and breaking up that passing play. Kopp have been very good to start the season for the Wings.
Kopp down to center ice, in front of the penalty box, swings it in behind the goal. Bobrovsky hands it back now to Mikkola. And the Panthers lift it out to center ice, and the Red Wings retrieve it. Mo Seider handling the puck for Detroit. Steered it out to center ice. Mikkola checked along the far boards. Now second effort, worked it in behind the Detroit net. Talbot plays it himself around the boards. Kopp took a chop at it, held in at the line. Boquist will steer that puck over on the left side. Mikkola in the corner, makes his way in behind the Red Wing goal. He is wedged off the puck, but they still control. Lundell with a shot. Trying to tip out in front was Luosterainen. He's always a dangerous player too, Luosterainen, who goes after that loose puck in the right side.
He and Lundell just play really well together. If it's the top line or the third line, they're playing in the top line now as they got some injuries up front with Sam Reinhart. Reinhart made a great redirection pass there in the offensive zone that led to a scoring chance for the Panthers.
Both teams changing on the go. 4.5 gone by in the opening period, no score. Finney on the ice, absorbs a hit by Rodriguez after dumping that puck in behind the Florida net. And the play is whistled down out at center ice.
And Finney somehow just continues to play at a high level. It's just so hard to do to be a 7th round draft pick in the National Hockey League. Come to your first training camp and not only make the team, but be getting him a top line with center iceman Dylan Larkin. That is a major accomplishment.
Then he picked up an assist in that game against the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Think about him, too, is he doesn't get rattled out there. He seems very calm and comfortable. He's a very strong, powerful skater. That definitely helps his cause, playing with Dylan Larkin.
Certainly a learning experience for all the youngsters. And you look at Sandin Pellikka, -2 in that game against Toronto. Shot on goal and knocked away with a blocker of Cam Talbot.
He had some good moments in that game as well. It's been a good, strong pair with Simon Edvinsson.
Panthers in the white jerseys with the blue and red trim. They're attacking left to right. No score in the opening period. Puck in front of the Red Wing bench. Bernard Docker will lift it to the side of Bobrovsky. Skipped over his goal stick into the corner. And now turning with it. Rodriguez gets it out to center ice, and Verhaeghe to sweep that puck in behind the Red Wing goal. Jacob Bernard Docker turned it over to Verhaeghe. Now a feed pass comes back to the blue line. Here's Seth Jones with a shot, and it's kicked away with authority by Cam Talbot.
I think he's not happy. The general manager, Bill Zito, rescued him from Chicago Blackhawks after playing earlier on the Columbus Blue Jackets. He's found his home now in Florida. He's won a Stanley Cup.
Seth Jones, one of those players that can log a lot of minutes, too.
Just can't figure that part out. They didn't get a whole lot back from the Panthers for Seth Jones. They took on his large salary, the Panthers they did, but what a great pickup that was by general manager Bill Zito, a very aggressive general manager.
And Bennett muscled it around the boards, turned it over to Brinket with a feed into the slot. It got away from Edvinsson. Now he plays it to Casper in the corner. Casper away from Seth Jones, fends off a check, got it to the blue line. It deflected off the stick of Sandin Pellikka out to center, and Edvinsson will throw it back into the Florida zone. Puck along the right side. DeBrincat took a chop at it, and that one ends up out of play in the near corner in the Florida end.
A pretty even start at both teams. They've had some scoring chances. 3 shots for both Florida and Detroit in the first 13 minutes.
Nice game brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, the official healthcare provider of the Detroit Red Wings radio network. Confidence comes with every card. We've got a pause in the action. 13:52 to go. Scoreless tie here in the opening period between the Red Wings and the Florida Panthers. This is the Detroit Red Wings radio network presented by LMCU. You'll love banking here.
Imagine a world where technology transforms the way we think about our environment. Welcome to Priority, where we're redefining the future of recycling and cleanliness with cutting-edge tech. Our innovative solutions are designed for those who demand smarter, more efficient ways to care for our planet. We're not just ahead of the curve, we're creating it. Ready to join the revolution? Visit PriorityWaste.com and see how we're setting the new standards in the industry. Priority, where technology meets sustainability.
Hockey nights are better with friends, big plays, and an ice-cold carbless in your hand. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and only 100 calories, so you can cheer hard without slowing down. From breakaways to game winners, Carbless keeps the celebration light, crisp, and refreshing. So grab your favorite flavor, kick back, and toast every shift like a true fan. Carbless, crafted for hockey nights wherever you watch.
In every home, someone is always too cold or too warm.
What's the temperature in here? I'll just...
And then there's someone who's trying to save money.
Step away from the thermostat.
Well, DTE wants to help with both. Seal air leaks, add insulation, and change filters regularly to save up to $200 a year. And stay comfortable, too.
Ah, warm and cozy.
Get more tips at dteenergy.com/saveenergy. DTE.
Glad you're tuned to Detroit Red Wings hockey on this Wednesday night. Late arriving crowd here tonight, but the Red Wings and the Florida Panthers doing battle. Both teams 3 shots on goal. Pretty evenly played hockey game thus far. Bouncing puck picked up by Greer, and he'll dump that puck around the boards outside rim of the right circle in the Red Wing zone. In behind the goal, scooping it up is Boquist, dumping it back on the blue line. Shot wide of the goal by Jeff Petrie, the former Red Wing. It's shoveled up the right wing, and Kane to dump it out to center ice. Boquist lost an edge. Now here's to Brinkett, right circle, fires a shot, sharp angle wide of the goal. Lundell fighting to hold it around the boards, got it out to center to Luosterainen. He has checked off the puck. It slides into the Florida zone. Rasmussen gets it, now shoots from a sharp angle, and that one ends up along the far corner. A sharp angle shot for Rasmussen. Seth Jones brings it out in front of the penalty box, and he'll fire that puck into the far corner of the Red Wing end from center ice. Brad Marchand dropped it. Sider intercepted it. It bounces in behind the goal. Talbot doesn't know where the puck is at the moment. Now he does. Sider will scoop it up and move away from Sam Bennett. Bennett delivers a check. Marchand with a chance. That's blocked. Now James Van Riemsdyk brings it up the right side. Carries in over the line. Feed pass eluded. Rasmussen goes into the corner. Archer make that Van Riemsdyk trying to jam it free. Now Marchand comes away with it and outlets it out to the center ice circle to Bennett. 3-on-2 over the line with a drop pass, and a shot by the player Marchand ends up in front of the Red Wing goal, blocked, and now into the corner.
The 3-on-2 for the Florida Panthers. Very good defensive play by Moritz Sider, taking that scoring chance away from Brad Marchand. Another great move by Bill Zito, getting him last year at the trade deadline from the Boston Bruins. And boy, the Bruins have recovered it quickly. 3-1 to start the season, tied for first place in the Atlantic Division.
Another team in the Metropolitan Division that is pretty hot right now, the Carolina Hurricanes, 3-0 on the season. Just allowed 7 goals.
Yeah, they really been. It's just a great team. And again, Rob Brennemer, one of the better coaches in the National Hockey, just play that strong forechecking game and everybody involved. But off to a great start. You're right, the Hurricanes. Up in the Minnesota Wild, 10 power play goals so far this season. The record's 2-2. 4 power play goals against, but the power play running at all cylinders right now for the Minnesota Wild.
Yeah, they're almost at 50%. They're 46 or 47%. Shot taken to the front of the goal. Talbot with a save. Matt Boldy mentioned him. He is off to a good start. So is Kaprizov.
Big victory for the Washington Capitals. They lost the first game, but they beat the Tampa Bay Lightning 3-2 in sudden death overtime. And Tampa Bay with just 1 victory so far this season. Who would have said that Andre Vasilevsky would be 0-3 to start the season for the Tampa Bay Lightning this season?
We'll see the Lightning here in Hockeytown on Friday night.
He missed all of training camp, though, in the preseason. It doesn't matter what kind of player you are, and that's what James Van Riemsdyk did.
Now moving in, here's a quick snapper wide of the goal by Sam Reinhart.
He didn't miss by much, another former Buffalo Sabre.
Reinhart again in the high slot. Dished it off left side. Turning with it there, Reinhart again, and he'll float it to the blue line. Ekblad holds it in at the left point, shovels it down into the corner, and that one ends up out of play as the forward Verhaeghe was looking on in that far corner.
Can you imagine the intensity in that building tonight in Buffalo? This Buffalo Sabres off to a 0-3 start against Ottawa, and both teams have banged up, as we mentioned, but that is a much-needed win right there. for Lindy Ruff and the Buffalo Sabres.
No player has more than 1 point on that team after 3 games.
But again, when you're missing your starting goaltender and 5 other players off your roster, I mean, it's so difficult to win the NHL with a full roster. That's almost impossible to do, and that's why I think Kevin Adams, the general manager, has got to jump in right now and make a move and get somebody. Maybe Alexander Wenberg, he plays in San Jose. He just signed there in the off season, but some kind of a guy that can play center and get him through this stretch. Otherwise, you get too far behind and you lose your season.
Now Lundell trying to feather it out in front from in behind the goal, broken up, and the wings on the attack. Dylan Larkin with a feed pass out to center. Appleton will dump it in, and hustling after it, Finney in the corner along with Seth Jones. They collide in along the corner boards. Mikkola tied up along the near side. Lundell helping out though, sends it across. Jones out to center, and he's checked off the puck by Emmett Finney, who hands it ahead to Appleton. In over the blue line. Appleton moves it in front, and Dylan Larkin tipped it wide of the goal. Larkin tried to score from a sharp angle, hit the side of the Florida net.
Starts in the neutral zone. It's another great play by Emmett Finney. Creates a fast-breaking 2-on-1, and he just did miss Dylan Larkin, redirecting that one behind Bobrovsky.
11 minutes to play in the opening period. No score. Wings on the attack out of their own zone. Finney lays it out to center ice off the leg of Casper. Marchand quickly over the blue line, cuts inside, lost the handle to DeBrincat. Now the wings are on the attack. 3-on-2 the other way. Kane to DeBrincat, to Kane in the slot, and it rolls off his stick right to the front of the goal. Casper made a beeline to the front of the net, but Bobrovsky will hang on.
It's important for this line to really get going here tonight. That's Marco Casper, Alex DeBrincat, and Patrick Kane. 5-on-5 now. They're going to be very good against this Florida Panther team.
Mason Appleton, he had the game-winning goal in Toronto. We talked about that. He was a 6th-round pick by the Jets in 2015. He's 29 years old, native of Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Well, it didn't take him long to become an important player in this Red Wing team. That's just an outstanding effort for him in the last game for the Red Wings. That big victory against the Maple Leafs.
Polinskis will scoop that puck up the right wing boards into the Detroit end. Sider dished it across. Casper bounced it away from Jeff Petrie, now hustling after the puck, Polinskis.
And Jeff Petrie now up to 986 games played in his NHL career. A very good career.
Ben Sherratt swings it over to Mo Sider at the Detroit blue line. Flips it down into the corner, out of his net to play it behind the net, Sergei Bobrovsky. Fires it around the boards, and this one travels away from everybody down the ice, and an icing call is charged against Sergei Bobrovsky.
You don't see that happen too many times. The goaltender's getting an icing call. Boy, I tell you, it wasn't that long ago, probably about 10 years. I think he was with the Columbus Blue Jackets, and they were saying at that time it was probably the worst contract in the National Hockey League. Nobody wanted to pick it up, making $10 million a year. The Florida Panthers have picked him up, and all of a sudden now it seems like a bargain. Back-to-back Stanley Cups, and they went to the Stanley Cup Finals 3 consecutive seasons, and that's almost impossible to do in today's NHL.
432 career victories for Sergei Bobrovsky. Well, he played 750-some games, so that's a pretty good win percentage.
He had some good seasons on. Boy, think back his days in the Philadelphia Flyers. He was good with the Philadelphia Flyers. They let him go. Columbus, I mentioned, didn't fare that well there. He's control of the draw.
Ooh, here's a shot taken by Johansson, tipped in front, and that one just wide of the right goalpost. Off the glass and out of play. Now the Red Wings a bit dangerous right there as Bobrovsky takes a sip from the water bottle. Face-off coming up, circle to Bobrovsky's left. Halfway through the opening period, 6 shots by the Red Wings, 4 for the Florida Panthers. Again, a scoreless tie.
That was Albert Johansson back on the left point. He made a little bit of a spin around and turned into fire. That was a smart play by him and almost gave the Wings a 1-0 lead.
JT Compher will take the face-off for Detroit. And Riemsdyk on one side and Kopp on the other. Panthers come away from the face-off, and Mikkola got it out to center ice. And Reinhart to shoot it in. Mikkola back after it in the corner will steer that puck deeper around the boards. It comes to Carter Verhaeghe. His pass blocked by Sherratt. Kopp turned it over to Verhaeghe. Quickly right side, Rodriguez hands it off. Reinhart shoots the puck off the side of the right side of the Red Wing goal. Rodriguez turning, looking for some open ice. Pumped it back to the blue line. Mikkola to fire that puck around the boards. Reinhart in the right corner, scooping it up. Stepped into by Sherratt. Rodriguez helping out, make that Verhaeghe, and finally batted away from everybody by Brandstad Nygaard down the ice. Red Wings make a change on the go. 9:14 to go. Scoreless tie here in the opening period. Seth Jones will set it up in the trapezoid in behind Bobrovsky in the end to our left. Now he hands it up the right side. Mikkola misplayed everybody. Comes out to the Detroit line to Sandin Pellikka. Rolls it across to Emmett Finney. Finney Shot the puck in front of the penalty box. Ekblad protecting the puck. Now worked it up the near side. Larkin dug it loose for a moment. Punched it over the line to Finney. Passed too far in front of Appleton. He was interfered with, and the play continues deep in the Florida zone. Loose to Reinen, moves it out to Ekblad at center ice, and he'll shoot it into the Detroit zone. Forsling took a chop at it. Larkin dug it loose. Forsling tied up there along the far wing by Appleton and popped up into the air. Mason Appleton worked it off a skate, and this one deflects down into the Panther zone. Both teams changing on the go. 8:20 to play in the opening period. No score in the game. Out to center ice. Forsling shooting it into the Detroit end. Rebound, skips all the way back down into the Florida zone. Seth Jones turns away from an oncoming DeBrincat. Swings it up the right side, and it's knocked away from Bennett, and the Wings tap it forward over the Florida blue line. Jones wheels with it, got it out to center ice. Bennett tapped it to Marchand, down the right wing boards, moves in towards the goal. Chip shot to the side of the net, and Bennett on the rebound, got a tip at it, and Talbot comes up with a save.
It's a good rush by Brad Marchand, the former Boston Bruin captain. He's pushing now back and behind the Red Wing net with Albert Johansson. Johansson stripped the puck away from him earlier in this hockey game. He did that purposely, bouncing off the goaltender, trying to get a rebound for one of his teammates. He did, but a good recovery by Cam Talbot.
Timeout, 7:54 to go. Scoreless time, the opening period between the Red Wings and the Florida Panthers. This is your home for Detroit Red Wings hockey, presented by LMCU. You'll love banking here.
Make your next shopping trip a good deal better during the Buy 5, Save 5 sale at Meijer. Buy 5 or more and save $5 or more when you mix or match over 2,000 items store-wide, like 12-pack cans of select Coca-Cola and Pepsi products, plus deposit where applicable. Sargento cheese slices, Huggies Snug and Dry diapers, and Friskies wet cat food. That's the good life, a good deal better. Remember to stop by the Meijer Pharmacy for your flu shot, available while you shop. It's free with most insurance plans. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
In hockey, every win is earned. And at home, the victories are just as real. With J.P. Weiser's whiskey in hand, every moment feels like a win. From midweek matchups to do-or-die Game 7s, Weiser's is there. From the first puck drop to the final buzzer, we're all in. Because it's not just about the team on the ice. Here, it's about us. And when we gather with J.P. Weiser's whiskey for game time, that's a W. J.P. Weiser's, the official Canadian whiskey of the Detroit Red Wings.
At LMCU, we certainly understand uncertainty.
Am I paying too much?
Am I earning enough? Is my money secure?
You've got enough on your mind. As a credit union that's seen it all over 91 years, we'll help you handle the big picture so you can focus on the little things, like...
When's practice over?
What should we watch?
What's for dinner?
In a world of uncertainty, there's one thing you can be sure about. You'll love banking at LMCU.
Fans, don't miss Star Wars night at Little Caesars Arena. Red Wings take on the Tampa Bay Lightning this Friday. Score a limited edition Star Wars and Red Wings Centennial jersey, plus a ticket to the game with a Star Wars special ticket package. Learn more and get yours at DetroitRedWings.com/special offers.
Head coach Craig Berube of Toronto Maple Leafs wanted more offense from his top players. He called out William Nylander and John Tavares, and both those guys responded last night. In that 7-4 victory against Nashville, both players had 3 points in the game, and William Nylander's got 7 points in just 4 games played so far this season.
Say hi to big Red Wing fan Brad Prznicki listening to our game cast in Redford as the Red Wings try to get on the board here. Mikkola with a spin move, got it down low into the corner. Now he shoots it again. That one was blocked in the far circle. Bennett retrieves it, got it to Mikkola again, shoots the puck wide of the goal. Knocked down and behind the net was Brad Marchand. The puck up the right side. Panthers a little damage right now, forcing the issue in the Red Wing zone. Sider eluded a check as Marchand tried to line him up in behind the Detroit goal. Samoskevich moved it to the blue line. Jones left circle, and that one's deflected by Marchand to the side of the goal. Talbot taking no chances and knows that the Red Wings were bottled up in their own end. He'll just freeze the puck.
Yeah, a slow start by the Panthers, but all of a sudden waking up a little bit offensively now, and again, just good play in the offensive zone. All 5 players rotating, cycling, moving that puck, giving it a teammate, and not throwing it aimlessly towards the goal.
Every time the Red Wings score a goal this season, it will be a DTE Energy Light the Lamp goal. Red Wings have scored 10 goals this season, and they've given up 10.
How about those Dallas Stars that I mentioned? Dallas is the other side of the coin. Dallas has got 11 different goal scorers this year so far. Their record 3-0. They sit atop that Central Division, actually with a tie with Colorado Avalanche.
You have them winning their division, Paul? Dallas Stars, or no, Winnipeg?
I don't know. Those three teams are just so close. It's just so difficult. And that's the trouble with those two teams. When it comes to playoff season, you're going to play one of those teams right off the bat and the other one in the second round.
Rodriguez came in front, his shot on a backhand block by the Red Wing defense. Wings chip it out to center, fighting for possession. DeBrincat diving along the ice to get it in front of the Red Wing bench. This one popped over the side boards and into the Red Wing bench.
I tell you what, if he gets that puck back, that diving play by Alex DeBrincat, Andrew Kopp was back to make that. Patrick Kane was back in behind the Panther blue liners. He would have it break away from center ice on Sergei Bobrovsky.
Samoskevich, he's 22 years old for Florida. First-round pick, played his college hockey at the University of Michigan. Has 3 points in 3 career games against the Red Wings. One of the bright younger players that the Florida Panthers have. You think of the offseason, Paul. They were able to sign most of their players back from that Stanley Cup squad.
Did a great job, Bill Zito. But again, you've got the players that are willing to actually take less to play for the Florida Panthers.
Rancic Nygaard trying to force the issue inside the Florida zone. Came out to center ice, and Luosterainen to feather it around the boards, right corner in the Red Wing end. Johansson trying to dig it loose. Boquist in there as well. It's spent around the boards by the Wings. Kopp dropping it back, and now it's tapped out to center ice. Knocked down with a glove, and Rancic Nygaard will lift it up over the Florida blue line, chipped back out to center ice. Lundell will sweep it into the Red Wing zone. Both teams changing on the fly. No score in the opening period. 6:10 to go. Puck down the ice. Forsling put on the brakes. No flying from his skates as he stopped quickly in that left corner. Now dug loose by Soderblom. Shot taken by Van Riemsdyk. Ends up off a skate and into the corner. Van Riemsdyk circles in behind the Florida goal on his backhand. Pumped it back in the line to Ben Sherratt. Fired the shot through traffic, and it was knocked down with the glove of Bobrovsky. Juggled it and then froze it. And on the doorstep trying to provide the screen was Michael Rasmussen.
This guy making one of the better fourth lines in the game of hockey. James Van Riemsdyk, the veteran player of 1,000 games out there with Elmer Soderblom, Michael Rasmussen. Very difficult to handle. A quality shift by those three in the offensive zone. Gets momentum back the other way for the Red Wings.
Good battle here in Detroit. 5:50 to go in the opening period. No score between the Red Wings and the Florida Panthers. We've got a pause in the action. This is the Detroit Red Wings Radio Network presented by LMCU. You'll love banking here.
Hey hockey fans, it's Will Birchfield. Hey, if you're ready to upgrade your outdoor living space, look no further than TimberTech Decking and Railing. TimberTech is the #1 premium composite decking brand, and it's tough enough to handle anything. It looks just like real wood, but without the costly maintenance of a wood deck. It won't rot, warp, splinter, or peel ever, and it's backed by industry-leading warranties, so your deck will last year after year after year. Connect with a local contractor or order free samples at timbertech.com to see the TimberTech difference for yourself. TimberTech. Everything.
Hello, Detroit! SaySarah.com. SaySarah.com. Where you gonna go if you really want to save on a new or used Chevrolet? What you say? What you say? SaySarah.com. SaySarah.com. Who's the #1 Chevrolet volume dealer in all of Michigan? Where the customer's #1? SaySarah.com. SaySarah.com. SERRA. SaySarah.com.
Together, let's drive.
From Novi to Royal Oak and down to Woodhaven and even Windsor, Ashley has Detroit covered when it comes to affordable, high-quality furniture and unbelievably comfortable mattresses. After nearly 20 years in the community, Ashley is proud to be the first official furniture and mattress partner of the Detroit Red Wings. Shop any of our 7 Metro Detroit locations and mention this partnership to receive 20% off your purchase. Some exclusions apply. Visit us today and help support the Red Wings this season. Only at Ashley.
Here in Detroit, 5:50 to go in the opening period. No score. Florida with 7 shots. Detroit with 6. Cam Talbot is playing well in goal. Panthers a couple of times had some pressure, Paul, on the Red Wing netminder.
Yeah, he's made some big good saves. So is Bobrovsky down that Florida Panther bench. The highest scoring teams in the National Hockey League. Montreal Canadiens have got 15 goals. Their record is 3-1. The Dallas Stars quietly 15 goals by 11 different players. And then you got the Minnesota Wild, they mentioned before, 10 power play goals, but also 15 goals, but they've given up 15 goals as well. And they're at the 500 mark in that Central Division.
Face-off coming up, circle to the right of Bobrovsky. Kasper wins the draw. Ben Sherratt from the line shoots the puck, reaching out to make the glove hand save. Sergei Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky against Detroit in his career, 38 games played. His record pretty good, 28-7-2, 5 shutouts, and a .935 save percentage.
And Jonathan Toews now back with the Winnipeg Jets and centering that second line. The Jets got 2 wins, 1 loss, their first 3 hockey games, but he's doing a pretty good job, and he hasn't played in the NHL for quite some time, so it's going to be a big challenge for Jonathan Toews, a former captain of the Chicago Blackhawks.
Sherratt took a shot and actually hit Kane, I think, on the ankle or the leg, and he is slowly making his way over to that Red Wing bench, bent over.
Patrick Kane is going to be all right.
Now the puck inside the Detroit zone. That means without the services of Lucas Raymond, day-to-day, that's how he's listed. Now in the slot, broken up to Brinkett, poked it off the boards. And into the Florida Panthers zone, Seth Jones chasing him down as Appleton.
And that's definitely a positive for the Red Wings that have been weak for week. That's a big loss. He's turned into one of the most important players on this Red Wing team.
Kane's still on the end of the bench, and he was in pain as the puck comes out to center ice, and Rodriguez to tap it to the side of Talbot. Talbot worked it up the right wing boards. Reinhart intercepting it, checked in along the corner boards by Dylan Larkin. Wings dig it free. Finney will lift it up the left wing into the Florida zone. Forsling chipped it out to center ice. And now Verhaeghe backhands the puck deeper into the Red Wing end. Simon Edvinsson ripped it around the boards. It's intercepted now in the slot. Here's a chance taken by Samoskevich, and he was bothered in a shooting position. Shot it wide. Back to the blue line. Forsling couldn't hold it in, and now the Florida Panthers have to tag up. Ekblad from center shoots it into the Red Wing zone.
And like all good teams do a good job of getting their defensemen involved in the offensive zone. Good defensive play by the Wings, and they come quick to the neutral zone.
And he got it up across the line. Here's Edvinsson now to the trailer. JT Comper rolling it around the end boards. There's the middle of a change. Then he exits the ice. Forsling got it back now to Ekblad, and he'll work it in front of the penalty box out to center ice. Comp will swing it back deeper into the Florida zone. Comper checked his man in along the corner boards. Boquist hammered by James Van Riemsdyk. Turned it away. Here's a chance right out in front by Kopp, and Bobrovsky made the save on the turnover by the Panthers. Scoring chance for Detroit. Bobrovsky coming up big, and Johansson to shoot it back into the Florida zone from center ice. Forsling lifting it into the air out to the center ice circle. Puck caroms over to the right side of the ice. Now it's Lundell sweeping a backhand behind the Red Wing goal. Elmer Soderblom tapping it out to center to Van Riemsdyk. Protecting the puck, hammers a backhand off the wall inside the Florida zone. Now scooping it up, Balinskis out to center ice. Shoots it into the Detroit end and in behind the Red Wing net. Puck around the boards. Hunin in there trying to jam it free. Sider's in there for Detroit as well. Soderblom comes away with a puck, dug it loose off the end boards. Now it comes back to Balinskis. He shoots the puck. That's off a body in front, taking a whack at it. Gadjevich on the rebound, but it bounced over his stick blade. Luckily, he was in a scoring position right out in front.
Was he ever? Right in front, probably about 15 feet away from goaltender Cam Talbot. Wings get a break there. Panthers right back on the attack.
Gadjevich with a centering attempt that hit Mo Sider's skate. Gadjevich got it now back to the blue line. Mikkola with a drive wide of the goal. Seth Jones skates in behind the Red Wing net. Turns, fires it right through the goal mouth. I think Talbot got a piece of it. Puck ends up in behind the Red Wing goal. The forecheck is pretty strong for the Panthers right now, and they've got it again. Gadjevich got it back on the line. Mikkola with a shot through traffic, skips wide of the Red Wing goal. Just have to be careful right now. The Panthers kicking up their heels a little bit. Now Sider brings that puck out to center. In over the Florida line. He'll scoot back out towards center ice as the Red Wings are changing on the go. Marco Kasper now to Kane over the blue line. Kane shoots the puck wide of the short side. Into the corner now. After it, Marco Kasper again. He's eased in along the boards. Seth Jones to pick it up. Didn't clear it out. Held in. Turnaround shot by Edvinsson. That one skips into the corner. Now Kane on the loose puck. It's the Red Wings' turn to apply the pressure on the Florida Panthers. Time winding down the first period. Minute and a half to go. No score. Kasper will rip that puck deeper into the corner. Seth Jones hammers it around the boards. Verhaeghe knocked it back, and here comes Rodriguez out to center ice. He'll tap it up over the Red Wing line, and picking it up is Axel Sandin Pellikka. He rolls it off a skate out to center ice. Forsling at the red line. Sweeps it into the Red Wing zone. Sandin Pellikka got it out to center. 2-on-1 developing over the line. Here's to Brinkett, now to Larkin. He shoots the puck. Bobrovsky the save. The rebound skipped right out in front. Kasper was dumped. And now out to center ice. It's scooped up by the Panthers. Great opportunity for the Red Wings right there.
It's a big save by Sergei Bobrovsky. Turned into a 3-on-1 break, and it bounced off the body of Marco Kasper, but unfortunately away from the net.
Now here's Ben Sherratt along the left wing boards to shoot it into the Florida zone. Forsling now taking a chop at it with Sam Bennett. Ends up in the left corner. Ekblad got it into the body of Marchand, who finally finds it. Got it out the center. 2-on-1 developing. Here's Samoskevich moving in. Tried to pass it across, and that one was broken up by Ben Sherratt, and it comes out the center ice. Samoskevich to dump it back into the Red Wing zone.
It's a great defensive play by Ben Sherratt. Things have definitely picked up the pace. It was a slow pace for the first 10 minutes, but all of a sudden now, both teams have found their groove, playing much better, getting some clean scoring chance on the respective goalies.
Puck was shot in by the Panthers and out of play. Face-off coming up in front of the Red Wing players' bench. What an opportunity, though, for Detroit to brink it. Slid that puck over, and Dylan Larkin tried to score first. It popped up into the air, and then Kasper was knocked to the ice.
Yeah, just a great job by Bobrovsky coming across there and didn't drop it down right away. Stayed up high that time. Dylan Larkin tried to go short side up high. A good shot, but a better save by Bobrovsky.
From the face-off, Brandsteg Nygaard trying to force the play at the Florida blue line. Came out the center, and Johansson will sweep it deeper into the Florida zone. Balinskis turned it over to Comfort. Now it's laid back to the blue line at Johansson. 9 seconds to go in the period. Wings have to hurry if they want to get a scoring chance. Here's Edvinsson with a blast. That's blocked right out in front. Edvinsson turns, fires. That one's knocked down at the horn, and Bobrovsky will hang on as it slowly trickled over to him. So in the waning moments, Red Wings getting some scoring chances, but after 20 minutes, no score in the game.
And both teams got off to a bit of a slow start in this opening period. Then all of a sudden, the Florida Panthers seemed like they found their game and turned it up a couple of notches. Spent a lot more time inside that Red Wing blue line. But the last couple of shifts belonged to Detroit. The Wings really came back a little bit, had some good chance, and almost did snap that scoreless tie themselves.
First period, shots on goal, brought to you by the Macomb Group, the leader between the pipes for all of your industrial pipe needs. 9 shots by the Red Wings on Sergei Bobrovsky, and the Florida Panthers had 8 on Cam Talbot.
And all 4 lines had some good moments in that opening period. Ahead for the Red Wings in that first period of play. I thought back on the blue line, Simon Edvinsson and Sandin Pellikka also very strong, and that was a good defensive play by Ben Sherratt late in that first period of play to keep the Panthers off the score sheet.
Both teams blocking shots, too, right out in front of their respective goaltenders. Ben Sherratt had a couple of block shots. And
well, it's good for Detroit, too, to be able to play in these kind of low-scoring games. But, again, they're a dangerous offensive team. And just imagine if you get Matthew Tkachuk and Alexander Barkov back in the lineup. Tkachuk's definitely going to come back probably before the Olympic break. But Alexander Barkov, that ACL, he's probably done for the season. They're saying maybe come playoff season, but that'd be a big risk to take for the Florida captain.
Hey, look at the Florida Panthers. They're right up there with the Boston Bruins atop the Atlantic Division right now.
Don't count out the Montreal Canadiens, who won that game in overtime last night on home ice, and that's a big win for Martin St. Louis and his team. 5-4 in overtime against the Seattle Kraken. Cole Caulfield with the game-winning goal.
Hey fans, nothing beats some Saturday night hockey. The Red Wings hit the ice, take on the Blues October 25th. And they head out for a long 6-game road trip. We need you here to get into the action. Get your tickets for this matchup at DetroitRedWings.com/tickets.
That's another very aggressive general manager, Doug Armstrong. He's made some great moves the last couple of seasons. Got his team in the playoffs last year. They gave the Winnipeg Jets all they wanted in that opening round. They're off to a 2-victory, 1-loss start to their season.
We're in the first intermission on this Wednesday night. No score between the Red Wings and the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. Pretty good period. Again, the Red Wings out shooting the Florida Panthers 9-8. Now they just added a shot to the Panthers, so both teams with 9 shots on goal. No score in the hockey game, and we're going to take a break right now. In our 1-800-CALL-SAM studios is Jeff Rieger. He's coming up next. This is your home for Detroit Red Wings hockey, presented by LMCU. You'll love banking here.
Imagine a world where technology transforms the way we think about our environment. Welcome to Priority, where we're redefining the future of recycling and cleanliness with cutting-edge tech. Our innovative solutions are designed for those who demand smarter, more efficient ways to care for our planet. We're not just ahead of the curve, we're creating it. Ready to join the revolution? Visit PriorityWaste.com and see how we're setting the new standards in the industry. Priority, where technology meets sustainability. The 2026 Chevy Equinox is more than an SUV. It's your Sunday tailgate and your parking lot snack bar. Your lucky jersey, your chairs, and your big cooler fit perfectly in your even bigger cargo space. And when it's go time, Your 11.3-inch diagonal touchscreen's got the playbook, the playlist, and the tech to stay ahead. It's more than an SUV, it's your Equinox. Chevrolet, the official vehicle of the Detroit Red Wings.
At Rocket, we believe everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. So if you're feeling locked out of home ownership, we're here to give you back the keys. We're opening doors, breaking down walls, and doing everything we can to turn renters into owners. And we're not going to stop until we help everyone home. To find out more, visit rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
We are Feiger Law, the official law firm of the Detroit Red Wings. For over 70 years, Feiger Law has been your hometown team of trial lawyers for auto crashes, truck accidents, birth trauma, and injuries due to medical malpractice. Let our team of homegrown trial lawyers win big for you. Feiger Law, the official law firm of the Detroit Red Wings. All we do is win.
All we do is win.
People can't have access to quality medical care without affordable health insurance. At Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, we understand increasing health insurance costs are becoming more of a strain on the budgets of the businesses and people we serve. Affordability matters. It affects real families, real decisions, and real care. That's why at Blue Cross, we're dedicated to finding solutions. To learn about this critical issue and our efforts to make healthcare affordable for all, visit mibluedaily.com/affordability today.
Welcome on back. 1-800-CALL, Sam Studio. Scoreless Panthers and Wings after one period. Go ahead, check the scoring summary. No scoring in that first period. In fact, everything pretty darn even. Both teams had 9 shots on net. Panthers had more hits, 9-5. Both teams won 9 face-offs, so 50% face-off success. And both teams are waiting for their first power play of the evening. Panthers are 3-1. Detroit is 2-1. Panthers undefeated at home, but haven't won on the road yet. Detroit have won their last 2 games against the Maple Leafs. What happens in the second period, we'll find out. But first, we'll hear from Will Birchfield from 97.1 The Ticket, the Wings flagship. We'll talk to him next during the intermission. You're listening to Detroit Red Wings Hockey.
Red Wings fans, get in the game at Dunham Sports to find great savings in every aisle. Since 1937, Dunham's has been bringing Red Wing fans the best values on the brand name sporting goods you want. Dunham's has your favorite brands like Under Armour, Adidas, Champion, Carhartt, Titleist, Bauer, Spalding, Warrior, Nordic Track, and many more at prices that are hard to beat. Get in the game and save at any of the 70 Michigan Dunham Sports locations.
Face Off Inside the NHL returns, taking you deeper behind the scenes than ever before. See it all from the star-studded Four Nations Face Off tournament.
Us against the world, boys.
To the adrenaline of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
I'm scared of you guys.
With candid interviews and backstage access, experience the sacrifice, the rivalries, and the determination that define NHL greatness.
Just when I thought last year couldn't be topped, here we are.
A new season of Face Off Inside the NHL. Watch now only on Prime Video.
Around here, it's all or nothing. And Toyota's got more all-wheel drive choices than anybody. Now through November 3rd, get 4.75 APR financing on remaining new 25 Corolla gas models. Excludes GR and Corolla Cross. Or lease a gas-powered 26 Corolla LE for $209 a month for 36 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Pella Window and Door Replacement is a proud sponsor of the Detroit Red Wings. Visit Pella.com to learn more.
Welcome on back, 1-800-CALL, Sam Studios. Scoreless game, Panthers and Wings after one in downtown Detroit. Time now for the intermission conversation brought to you by Meijer. Meijer brings more good to hometown hockey. Always great to talk to Will Birchfield from 971theticket.com. He writes for 971theticket.com. He's also on the air at 97.1 The Ticket, the Wings flagship. And I asked Will, if the Wings were to make the postseason, whose spot might they take in the Eastern Conference?
The team that I think they could displace is the team that ironically punked them on opening night. And I think that's the team in the Canadiens that I would imagine most fans and maybe even some players and coaches in the Wings locker room believe that the Wings can overtake this year. Obviously, Montreal had an incredible second half last year, and I don't want to undermine that or dismiss that. But when you stack their rosters up on paper, it does seem like the Wings are close to their equal and a team that they should be able to come away with more points than this year. And what has to happen, in my mind, is for Lucas Raymond to take a step from great to elite, from borderline star to hopefully superstardom. And what that looks like on the stat sheet is at least a point per game, is a 90-point season, is close to 40 goals. If they can get that kind of superstar production out of Lucas Raymond, I do think this team can take that next step. But that's asking a lot. I think one of the hardest steps in the NHL is to go from I'm a first-line player to I'm a driver of the bus. I'm the best player on my team. And Raymond's close, but I think he needs to get there to elevate the Wings.
I'm totally putting you on the spot, but listening to you describe what you would need from a Lucas Raymond, who's the comp? Who's the player you're thinking of when you're describing what Lucas Raymond would have to do?
I think if you go back and look at Mitch Marner's career arc in Toronto, it can be a useful comparison. You know, I think over his first couple seasons, he was a solid offensive performer, but by year 3 or 4, he was in that 90-point range, which is where he's lived ever since. And he's been a superstar in this league for 4 or 5 years now, and obviously the contract that he signed with Vegas is clear proof of that. So that's a player that actually Raymond drew comparisons to way back in his draft process. I think their style of play, some of their profile is similar, and you'd like to think that Raymond can mirror some of the production that Marner began to put up in years 3, 4, and onward.
If you had a crystal ball, would this be the year that they get back?
If I had a crystal ball, I would say that this is not the year that they get back. I think while their roster might be a little bit better, certainly younger than it was at this time last year, the teams around them are better too. And Montreal, as I mentioned, is still very much a threat. We saw Ottawa break through last year after making some moves at the deadline, the kind of moves that a certain GM here was opposed to making. And obviously that the powers that be are still very real in the Atlantic. The Bruins admittedly took a step back last year that at least opened some form of a lane for the Wings. But there are still, in my mind, already right now 6 or 7 even clear playoff teams in the East, and you feel like there might be 6 or 7 teams fighting for 1 or 2 spots. And I'm not sure the Wings did enough this offseason for us to say confidently in October that they're prepared to break through. The other thing that would have to happen, Rieger, to answer your prior question, is for Marco Kasper to play like he did for the duration of this year as he did in the final 30 games last year, when he looked like a legitimate number 2 center, when he produced like one, when he could be relied on night in, night out. And for Simon Edvinsson to maybe take a Moritz Seider-like step, and for Cam Talbot and John Gibson to produce like a very stable goalie tandem. And as you start to consider all of these things that need to happen, you understand why it's such a tall task.
Last one from Will Birchfield from 97 The Ticket, the Red Wings flagship. All right, centennial season. You've been doing this for a little bit. What's the moment in your mind that Red Wing fans maybe are the most proud of, or even the moment that you enjoyed the most from being around the Red Wings as we continue to celebrate 100 years of Red Wing hockey?
Well, I got here in the 2016-17 season, which was the first year that their 25-year playoff streak came to an end.
So it's your fault.
I don't want to speak on behalf of Red Wings fans because I don't represent the masses at all. I have never seen this team in my time here make the playoffs, and all I knew about them before that was perennial contention, was Stanley Cups, was Hall of Fame players, was numbers in the rafters. Growing up as a huge hockey fan from Connecticut and a huge Rangers fan, just when I felt thought of the Red Wings, I thought of the most feared, the deepest, the most talented team in the NHL. And for a long time, it was Yzerman and Fedorov, and then later on, it was Datsuk and Zetterberg. I think for me, the two players that always come to mind when I think of the Wings are Fedorov, first of all, and those white Nike bubble skates that he wore that he made so cool back in the 90s. And then Datsuk kind of taking the torch from Fedorov as the next impossible to play against, divinely talented Russian who became one of the faces of that 25-year playoff streak. And the hands for Pavel Datsuk are inimitable, are maybe unlike any set of hands we've ever seen in the NHL. And the number of jock straps that he left hanging in rafters around the NHL is maybe not the moment, but the snapshot that stands out to me about the Wings as we once knew them.
Will Birchfield, awesome stuff. We appreciate it. Read Will at 971theticket.com.
Say it 5 times fast.
Read Will at 971theticket.com. Listen to him on 97.1 The Ticket. Will, thanks so much.
You got it, Riggs.
Coming up next, the out-of-town scoreboard. You're listening to Detroit Red Wings hockey.
All right, guys, who brought the boring, overpriced food to the tailgates?
Little Caesars Dill Deer here. Try cheesesteak crazy puffs for only $3.99 instead. With delicious sliced steak and onions, they'll steal the show at every tailgate.
These taste legit! You should come to every tailgate, Deal Deer.
Oof, I'll be honest, I don't do tailgates. Too many headlights. For a limited time this NFL season, order cheesesteak crazy puffs for only $3.99. Little Caesars is the real deal. Pizza.
Plus tax where applicable. Available at participating locations for a limited time. Prices may vary. Prices higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and third-party online sites.
Hey, hockey fans, get ready to launch your game day experience to another dimension with New Holland Brewery's family of beers. Available here at Little Caesars Arena. Whether it's their top-selling Tangerine Space Machine IPA or the legendary Dragon's Milk Stout, New Holland has you covered. Proudly brewed in Holland, Michigan, you can find New Holland beers available throughout the arena and featured at the New Holland Bar on the upper concourse across from Portal 56. Let's go Wings!
At McLaren, we know that when you need emergency care, the waiting room is the last place you want to be. Which is why we offer online check-in for non-life-threatening conditions, so you can check into your local McLaren ER right from your home. Just visit mclaren.org/ER and select a time that fits your schedule. The next time you need expert ER care, check in online, so the waiting room can be your living room. That's mclaren.org/ER.
Hey, it's Ken Cal, voice of the Red Wings. There's a homegrown squad that's been around even longer than the Wings. Rose Pest Solutions turned pro over 160 years ago and has dominated pests ever since. Rose safeguards your home or business against pests like bedbugs, cockroaches, rodents, and spiders. Their technicians are also equipped to meet all safety regulations. That's why Rose is an official partner of the Detroit Red Wings. Pest problem? Rose is the solution. Call Rose at 800-966-ROSE or go to rosepestsolutions.com.
Save time every time when you use online check-in for a great haircut at Great Clips, proud partner of the Detroit Red Wings. Download our app or check in online at greatclips.com. Great Clips, it's gonna be great.
Welcome back to the 1-800-CALL-SAM studio. Wings and Panthers scoreless after one. Get you back to Detroit for that second period. First, the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Rocket Mortgage, helping more Americans own more of America. Your journey home starts at rocketmortgage.com. Rocket, own the dream. Just 3 other games scheduled today, 1 in action in Buffalo. They're at the first intermission. Sabres and Sens are tied at 1. Tim Stützle gets the goal for Ottawa. Jack Quinn gets the goal for Buffalo. Both those goals are those players' first of the season. 9:30 tonight, Blackhawks in St. Louis to take on the Blues. Blues off to a nice start, 2-1-0 Blackhawks. That's Jeff Blashill's new team, 1-2-1. Also 9:30, Flames and Mammoth. 1-3-1 for Calgary. Utah is 1-2-0. All right, let's get you back to downtown Detroit. 1 in the books. Second just about to get going. Scoreless game. Panthers and Red Wings. Ken Cal, Paul Woods. Fellas, take it away.
All right, Jeff, thanks a lot. Both the Red Wings and the Florida Panthers made their way out onto the ice surface. Fresh sheet of ice. No score in the hockey game. No penalties called by the referees tonight. Brandon Blandina and Furman South. Linesmen today are Kyle Flemington and Jesse Marquis. And before we start the second period, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Detroit Red Wings Radio.
The latest news of the night.
Svechnikov and now Hamilton. Back for Andre. He's in for a shot. He scores!
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Well, you mentioned both teams excelling on the power play and penalty kill. You look at the numbers. Florida 6 for 17. They're third overall in the National Hockey League in the power play. Red Wings 7th overall, 3 for 12 this year at 25%. But it's even more impressive. Panthers 12 for 12 on the penalty kill, and the Red Wings have just allowed one power play goal this season.
And they're missing a couple of key guys in Matthew Tkachuk and Alexander Barkov. Barkov, they use him in every situation. He's the captain of the team and a good decision. Won the Selke Trophy Award again last year. And, of course, Matthew Tkachuk, one of the toughest guys to play against in the National Hockey League. Two key players, but still a very good Florida Panther team. They've won back-to-back Stanley Cups.
We can tell you tonight's second period is brought to you by the Jack Demmer Automotive Group, Jack Demmer Ford, and Jack Demmer Lincoln. Discover the Demmer difference.
An amazing story of Emmett Finney continues every game. 5 minutes and 34 seconds, still playing in that top line with Dylan Larkin, Mason Appleton. Who would have thought that combination would be together to start the season? He led the Red Wings with 3 hits in the opening period. Ben Sherratt, 8 minutes and 33 seconds of ice time.
Nicola played it to the Detroit blue line. Wings are attacking left to right here in the second period. And the home Reds with the white trim, and the Panthers attacking right to left.
And Seth Jones, the former Blue Jacket, Blackhawk defenseman, led his team in average ice time at 8 minutes and 46 seconds.
Verhaeghe in the slot. Rodriguez with a chance, and Talbot made the save. Good quick scoring chance by the Florida Panthers early on in the second period.
Sandin Pellikka lost the battle down low. That same thing happened in Toronto. Can not afford to do that. Panthers almost took advantage.
Nicola plays it in behind the net. Sam Reinhart dug it loose, got it back to the blue line. Nicola swatted at it. Red Wings failed to clear it out on the first attempt. Finally, it's backhanded up the wing. Taking it deeper into his own zone along the near boards is Edvinsson, and he'll just play it all the way down the ice into the Florida end. And icing is called against Detroit with the Florida Panthers. Some pressure in that Red Wing end.
You know, I always say playing in the NHL is like a fragile existence for teams, and you know, it can change so quickly. And look at the Ottawa Senators. I actually had them moving up. I thought they might be at the top of the Atlantic Division. But now Brady Tkachuk's out with that wrist injury. He's gone 4 to 6 weeks, and the wheels can come off the Ottawa Senators. The same thing the Buffalo Sabres. Look good on paper. Now Josh Norris, the number one center iceman, he's not available. All of a sudden now, they can't win hockey games, but it can change so quickly in today's NHL.
From the draw, the Red Wings fight for possession, and Comper will lift that one down the ice, and it's back-to-back icing calls against the Detroit Red Wings, and we're 58 seconds in.
Senators, I actually had them moving up. I thought they might be at the top of the Atlantic Division, but now Brady Tkachuk's out with that wrist injury. He's gone 4 to 6 weeks, and the wheels can come off the Ottawa Senators. The same thing the Buffalo Sabres. Look good on paper. Now Josh Norris, the number one center iceman, he's not available. All of a sudden now, they can't win hockey games, but it can change so quickly in today's NHL.
From the draw, the Red Wings fight for possession, and Comper will lift that one down the ice, and it's back-to-back icing calls against the Detroit Red Wings, and we're 58 seconds into the second period, still a scoreless tie.
And Mason Appleton had that very important game-winning goal late against the Maple Leafs to seal the victory for the Red Wings. 6 minutes and 14 seconds in that opening period, had a good scoring chance right off the bat down that right side, and he's a fluid skater like Emmett Finney, and that'll fit in well with Dylan Larkin.
Panthers win the face-off. Ekblad with a shot wide of the Red Wing goal. Sandin Pellikka bounced it up the left wing boards. And out to center ice, racing after it is Kopp. Following up, Brantzig. Nygaard takes a hit, and turning back, Samoskevich to lift it into the right corner in the Red Wing end. Samoskevich had it knocked away and behind the Detroit goal. Now it's tapped up the wing. Forsland with a shot towards the front of the net. Low to the ice, scooped up with a glove hand of Cam Talbot, and he will hang on.
9.25 save percentage of Cam Talbot. Another good save, get his team into trouble.
Kenny Malkin off to a good start with the Pittsburgh Penguins. 6 assists, and he leads his team in scoring.
And his trade again involved in all these rumors. And again, they say the Pittsburgh Penguins getting near the trade deadline, may be willing to move him, and maybe it's to these Florida Panthers. He's got no time left on his contract, so that could work out, and he definitely would give the Panthers a lift.
Linskas fired that puck around the boards. Finney after the loose puck along the right wing. Now Lundell turns and fires. That deflected right to the stick of the Red Wing player. And now over the line skates Sherratt, and he'll dump it around the boards.
Yeah, take a second look and see Ben Sherratt's been up the ice. He led his team in ice time in the opening period and had a good chance down that right side, but we just couldn't make it happen. He and Rich have been a strong pair through the first 20.
Emmett Finney, who got him the pass, and Sherratt cruised into the Florida Panthers zone.
Doing pretty good, Emmett Finney's got 2 assists so far this season. He's getting in that top line.
Now the Puck is into the corner. Dylan Larkin in the slot. Here's a shot. Marines score! Appleton again with a big goal. And the Red Wings have taken a 1-0 lead.
That's becoming a standard play for Mason Appleton, the fourth line player. He doesn't play like it. Good work by the Red Wings. Larkin steals it away, and another diving shot by Mason Appleton. Did the same thing against the Maple Leafs. On his way down, he let it to go. He beat Bobrovsky in the short side. His second goal of the season. It's a 1-0 lead for the Red Wings.
2 minutes, 9 seconds into the second period, and Mason Appleton gets the goal to give the Red Wings the lead, 1-0, and that goal by Mason is a DTE Energy, light the lamp goal.
There wasn't much of an affair again when he got signed during the offseason. Mason Appleton played with the Winnipeg Jets, and same thing for James Van Riemsdyk. But those two guys have made a big difference on the Red Wings' fourth line.
It's after the Florida Panthers had some pressure in the Red Wings zone the first minute and a half of the second period. So the Wings draw first blood, have a 1-0 lead. Our Docker almost ran into DeBrincat, who slid under him out at the Hockeytown logo at center ice.
Well, Tom McClellan talked about it in the pregame show about Mason Appleton, and again, he's a good skater, he's a strong skater, but also he understands how to defend.
Hey, what, that puck went in and out in a hurry, that shot by Appleton. All right, here comes Sandin Pellikka out the center, rolls it over the line to Kane, return feed, Pellikka moves in with a backhand, and he shot it wide. He was bothered from behind by Mikkola. Balinskis after the puck again turns away from a check, moved it out the center. Edmondson tied up his man. That puck softly into the Detroit zone. Sandin Pellikka quickly over the line. Here's Rasmussen with a chance, and he whistled one wide of the goal. Rasmussen in behind the net. All over him is Jeff Petrie. Rasmussen fights away from him. Stick handles along the boards. Now slaps it to Van Riemsdyk. In front, a centering attempt off a Florida stick and in behind the Panther goal. Sandin Pellikka from the right point with a shot. That's off a skate. Fighting to retrieve it is Soderblom. Laid it back to Sandin Pellikka. Swings it over. Red Wings stepping it up a little bit. Pass for Soderblom through the slot. He couldn't handle it. Trickles deeper into the corner for James Van Riemsdyk.
And Panthers player without a stick now. The fourth line of the Wings taking advantage of that.
Simon Edmondson controls in the left corner. Moves in behind the Panther goal. Now turns, laid it back on the blue line. Pass across, Rasmussen shoots the puck wide of the goal. The rebound, Sandin Pellikka, left wing boards. Now a pass over to Rasmussen, top of the right face-off circle. Pitched it down low to Van Riemsdyk. Makes his way in behind the goal, lost the handle of it. Now Gadjevich will lay it ahead, and finally it's backhanded by Greer out the center ice.
It's a quality shift. The Red Wings at fourth line. That's the best offensive shift they've had all night long.
Lead 1-0. Panthers almost turned it over, and Kopp couldn't control it. Greer out the center. Crosses the red line and hammers it off the glass and trickles into the left circle in the Red Wing end. Now here's Marchand circling in behind the net. Tried to lay it out in front. Bennett took a whack at it. Make that Ekblad who moved in from the blue line. Never got through to Talbot. And the Red Wings answer back out the center. Brandseck Nygaard to shoot it off the rail and into the right corner. Brandseck Nygaard picks it up again. Cuts out in front. Stepped into with a check of Sam Bennett. And out the center ice. Marchand will dump a backhand softly into the far corner in the Detroit end. And icing is called against the Panthers.
Florida Panthers got off to a fastest start. They've won all 3 games on home ice, and they've lost in Philadelphia against the Flyers and new head coach Rick Tocchet. But the competition really has not been that strong for the Florida Panthers. Getting a bit of a more of a test here tonight against the Red Wings. It's going to be a challenge all season long, though, without Matthew Tkachuk and Alexander Barkov.
Second goal of the year for Appleton. Larkin with the lone assist at 2:09 of the second period. Red Wings lead 1-0. Actually, the Red Wings look pretty good there moments ago, Rasmussen and company, and keeping that puck in the Florida zone.
Well, I think, again, it's going to be good, that fourth line, and anytime you get James Van Riemsdyk playing Michael Rasmussen and Elmer Soderblom, be a good learning curve, those two young, big, strong power forwards, and that can become an offensive weapon for the Red Wings.
Denny laid it up across the Florida blue line. It swept back out the center, and Sider to shoot that puck around the boards deeper into the Florida zone. Lundell swings in behind his own goal, hands it off to Mikkola, flips that puck into the Red Wing zone, skipped away from Sider, bounced over his stick blade, another icing call against the Florida Panthers. Nice broadcast brought to you by Meijer. Meijer is the official grocer of the Detroit Red Wings radio network. Meijer brings more good to hometown hockey.
How about the New York Rangers? How can you end up doing that? They've not scored a goal now in 3 consecutive home games. That's a National Hockey League record to start the season. Not scoring a goal in 3 consecutive games, got beat last night at home ice 2-0 by the Edmonton Oilers. Stuart Skinner was back in goal for Edmonton, had a very strong game last night.
But you know what, you look at Shesterkin's numbers, the goaltender, and he's actually playing pretty good. His save percentage not bad.
Well, he was not good for a couple of years, but they need a bounce-back season from him. He's one of the highest-paid goaltenders in the National Hockey, but as you mentioned, playing like it this season.
Now the Red Wings out to center ice, over the line, Marco Kasper. Onside in the slot to DeBrincat with a shot. Bobrovsky, the glove save. Rebound, right circle. Kasper sent it through the goal mouth on a quick shot. Now it comes out to center ice. No penalties called in the hockey game. That was almost one there against the Panthers. Luosterainen in the right corner. Referee gets out of the mix as Kasper tied up Luosterainen along the end boards. Now into the corner in the Red Wing end. 13:50 to play in the second period. Appleton's goal the difference. 1-0 Detroit. Puck is in behind the Red Wing goal. Now into the corner. Marco Kasper backhands it up the wall. Not out. Held in. Forsling in the slap. Verhaeghe with a shot. Short side wide of the goal. Rebound. Swept in behind the Red Wing goal. Panthers a bit dangerous right there. Kasper dished it out to center. Puck knocked away from Kane. Now the play whistled down, and we got a penalty coming up. Cross-checking against Detroit.
It's going to be Marco Kasper, I think. He got tangled up with Evan Rodriguez. Not what you want to do when you got a 1-0 lead early in the second period of play. Now the Florida Panthers a chance in the power play to tie things up.
6:35, the time of the cross-checking penalty, and we'll be back with a potent Florida power play. But the Red Wings lead 1-0, 13:25 to go in the second period. This is your home for Detroit Red Wings hockey, presented by LMCU. You'll love banking here.
At Rocket, we believe everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. So if you're feeling locked out of home ownership, we're here to give you back the keys. We're opening doors, breaking down walls, and doing everything we can to turn renters into owners. And we're not going to stop until we help everyone home. To find out more, visit rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
I'm Lions head coach Dan Campbell. When you're injured in an accident, you want respect. How do you get the respect and money you deserve? Call Sam. You need lawyers that get respect. And your lawyer needs to respect you, your case, and your family. That's why you need to call Sam. Get the experience, the resources, and the results that everyone respects. Get the Bernstein advantage. Get respect. Call Sam today.
People can't have access to quality medical care without affordable health insurance. At Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, we understand increasing health insurance costs are becoming more of a strain on the budgets of the businesses and people we serve. Affordability matters. It affects real families, real decisions, and real care. That's why at Blue Cross, we're dedicated to finding solutions. To learn about this critical issue and our efforts to make healthcare affordable for all, visit mibluedaily.com/affordability today.
Marco Kasper gets the first penalty of the hockey game off for cross-checking. 6:35, very potent power play. Panthers 6 for 17, third overall in the National Hockey League. This Red Wing penalty kill coming up, brought to you by Corewell Health. No matter the challenge, their response is always the same: we can.
And the Red Wings penalty kill is much improved group so far this season. Just that one power play goal against in 7 opportunities.
Puck was dropped unfairly. They will do it again in the near circle. Kyle Flemington, the linesman, to drop the puck.
If you're getting those two categories, the team, a save percentage, and penalty killing, you have a chance to win lots of games at the NHL level.
Well, the Red Wings want to move up in that penalty killing department. They ended up dead last year, 32nd in the NHL. The Panthers, screen shot by Jones in front. That was Reinhart trying to provide the screen. It was blocked in front, comes back to Jones at the blue line. Marchand throws it into the right face-off circle. Back to the blue line it comes. Jones. Now to Reinhart, to Jones again. Skates into the right circle. Bennett gets the feed at the blue line. Shoots the puck off a Red Wing stick, deflects into the corner. And now whistled around the boards. Back to the blue line. Jones with a shot, and that's blocked out in front. Back to the blue line it comes. Jones holds it in, hands it off to Ekblad. Now to Jones again, middle of the blue line. Wings in that box out in front of Talbot. Sam Bennett. Right circle feed. Marchand gets possession of the puck. Now turning with it. Marchand again into the right circle. Shoots the puck And a crouched save made with a glove hand by Cam Talbot. And just 1:07 to go in the power play for the Panthers.
They've got some great players not available, but still really good in the power play. 6 power play goals, just 17 opportunities so far this season. One of the better power plays in the National Hockey, but a good job of rubbing penalty killers again. Keeping Florida to the outside makes the job a lot easier for goaltender Cam Talbot.
That goal by Mason Appleton at 2:09 from Larkin was a DTE Energy light the lamp goal.
Can you imagine the power plays that good, and then you plug back in Alexander Barkov and Matthew Tkachuk? Yeah. What those two guys could do to it. One of the reasons why they won those back-to-back Stanley Cups. Florida controls the face-off. Seth Jones has got it.
Jones, long shot, save made, rebound as it was knocked away. Standing up to make that save with his skate was Talbot. Now the wings, Larkin shoots it in.
I'm not sure if he's off at balance or his pad or his skate got tied up, but he just stood there. That was a fortunate break for the Red Wings. Bounced off his pad. So class good work by Larkin, but here come the Panthers.
Bennett rolls that puck into the corner. Top unit still out there for the Florida Panthers on the power play. Turning with it, Marchand, left face-off circle. Spinning with the puck, got it back to Jones. Hands it off right circle to Ekblad. Back to Jones, now to Marchand in the slot. His shot off a Red Wing stick. Marchand picking up the puck, and now a penalty coming up. Tripping is the call to the Florida Panthers.
Yeah, Dylan Larkin was trying to get to a puck back in his own zone. Had some contact with the Florida Panther defenseman. That's Aaron Ekblad. He'll step in the penalty box. There's 21 seconds left. The Marco Kasper's minor penalty. 4-on-4. After that, the Wings will have their first power play of the game.
And Red Wing power play coming up in 21 seconds will be brought to you by Carbless, the preferred ready-to-drink canned cocktail of your Detroit Red Wings.
Next of those Dallas Stars off to a fast start. They got 3 guys in the top 12 and defensemen scoring. Thomas Harley, what a start for him. 5 points. He played for Canada the Four Nations tournament last year. Essa Lindell, he's up there as well as Nils Lundqvist. But lots of offense for the Dallas Stars to start the season. Glenn Gulletson, his second stint behind the bench for the Dallas Stars.
I picked them to go all the way last year. It just didn't happen.
No, they got tough teams to beat. As I mentioned, the first and second round, you're going to play Winnipeg. You're going to play the Colorado Avalanche. Those are very, very good teams in that Central Division.
4-on-4 hockey for 18 seconds as the Panthers control Forsling. Moved it out to center ice. Lindell to Luosterainen. Almost had his pocket picked by Kopp. It rolls over to Mikkola, and he'll dump it to Luosterainen behind the Red Wing goal. Now it's stolen by Edvinsson. Edvinsson laid it up the right wing. Kasper is back on. The Red Wings are at full strength. And the Red Wings on the power play now as they'll regroup and they'll get their power play unit out there as Seider drops it to the trailer deep in the Red Wing zone. That is DeBrincat. Now to Seider. Hands it off to Kane. He'll stride forward through the Centennial logo at center. Dumps it over the line of Van Riemsdyk. Rolled it back on the line of Seider. Now to Kane off his stick. Helping out Van Riemsdyk. Throws it into the corner. Now back to the line of Seider. Left circle feed to DeBrincat. Wings would like to cash in. DeBrincat in the slot. Had some traffic in front. That was Van Riemsdyk, and that one sails over the crossbar. Kane out in front. Van Riemsdyk sends it through the goal mouth. It bounces right out in front of the goal. Out of traffic. A chance right there by DeBrincat. And the save made by Bobrovsky. Another penalty coming up to the Florida Panthers. Here's a shot by DeBrincat, and Bobrovsky makes the save right where the crest is on the front of his jersey. But the crowd cheering right now. It's a 2-man advantage for 44 seconds coming up.
And again, not many guys can do it. James Van Riemsdyk, no training camp, no preseason. The game step in to play at this pace, this level. He's a veteran, a guy, a very important player, and all of a sudden, that seems to look like a very good signing by General Manager Steve Yzerman.
Defenseman Mikkola is getting the gate, and now a big opportunity for the Red Wings to cash in.
That was a smart play by Alex DeBrincat, too. Did not waste any time. He shot that puck towards the goal. Didn't want to take any more time off the clock and give his team a lot of time in this 5-on-3 advantage.
9:30, the time of the cross-checking call to Mikkola, the defenseman. And again, the Red Wing power play brought to you by Carbless, the preferred ready-to-drink canned cocktail of your Detroit Red Wings.
And Sergei Bobrovsky had a little bit of an equipment problem. He's taking his time. He wants his players to have a chance to catch their breath. The referee watching closely. A big face-off coming up now. Lundell for Florida against Larkin.
A veteran move right there as he washes his face down with that water bottle. Larkin, Van Riemsdyk to brink it up front. Let's see what the Red Wings can do right here. See if they can take advantage. 44 seconds in a 2-man advantage. Face off deep in the Florida zone. Wings lead 1-0. Here's Seider. Now to Kane. Right circle. Score! Patrick Kane quickly on the power play. 2-0 Detroit.
Another very intelligent play by Patrick Kane, and again that was close to face-off interference on the Red Wings on the draw. No call by either referee, thankful, but it got over to Patrick Kane, and usually he looks like he makes a pass when that's a situation, but this time after looking, just turned and fired and beat Bobrovsky. I think he fooled him up high, right below the crossbar. 2-0 Detroit, and still on the power play.
So the Red Wings score on that penalty that was just about ready to expire from Ekblad, so the Red Wings remain on the power play.
But the Red Wings getting some mileage from those fourth-line players, former fourth-line players, Mason Appleton, James Van Riemsdyk, all of a sudden looking like very significant signings during the offseason.
DeBrincat to Larkin in over the blue line. Red Wings like to cash in again. That power play now. 4 power play goals this season for Detroit. Red Wings have scored a power play goal in each one of their hockey games so far. Ekblad pinning along the boards. Larkin trying to dig it loose in behind the Florida net. Van Riemsdyk muscled it free. Kane turns out in front. Over on the right corner to DeBrincat. Laid it quickly to Seider at the blue line. Now to Kane, right circle. Back to Seider. Hanging onto the puck. Feed past Kane, top of the right circle. Moves it over to DeBrincat. Fumbled the puck a little bit. Now hands it back to the trailer. Kane. Down low it comes to Van Riemsdyk. Right circle feed. Larkin over. Here's a one-time shot taken by DeBrincat and a pad save from Bobrovsky. And the Panthers will find the opening and drill it down the ice. Good scoring chance for the Wings.
You can't move the puck any better than that in the power play. All 5 guys involved had a great scoring chance. That close to taking a 3-0 lead.
Here comes Casper down the middle over the Florida line. Punched it over. Cop to Casper. Circles in behind the goal into the corner. Lays it back to Comfort. Red Wings with a man advantage for a half a minute. 2-0 Detroit. We're in the second. Down low it comes. Comfort slides it across. And Kopp with a chance. And Bobrovsky slid over to make the save. And the Panthers again control the rebound to dump it down the ice.
And the second unit waiting. Patient on the bench gets out there. Had a great scoring chance. And Andrew Kopp just gets a little bit higher up. I think he finds that top corner. As you mentioned, Bobrovsky got a piece of it. Dangerous chance there.
Back up across the line. Kopp will dump that puck in behind the Florida goal. Ekblad will scoop it into the corner. And now firing it, Rodriguez all the way down the ice to the side of Talbot. Penalty is over. Mikkel is back on. And the Red Wings and the Panthers are at full strength. Well, the Wings did some damage. Appleton and the power play goal by Kane. And it's a 2-0 Detroit lead. Here's Rasmussen with a power move. And he tried to go upstairs with it. And Bobrovsky made the save. Power move from the right side to the front of the net by Michael Rasmussen. That's what you like to see from him, using that size advantage to get to the front of the net.
Telling you what, Ken, it's going to be a different outlook for the fourth line with James Van Riemsdyk now involved. He's right back out there. He's played a lot in the second period. Rasmussen's got to get back to Sherratt.
Sherratt, middle of the blue line, feed to Seider, worked it down and behind the goal, and chasing it down, Rasmussen in the corner. Watched by Rodriguez. Van Riemsdyk, veteran player, fights out of traffic. From the left point, turns, fires through traffic. That one hit a man right out in front. Could have been Soderblom. And now scooped up by Samoskevich out the center ice, right on the stick of Seider, and he'll drop it deeper into the Red Wings zone as the Wings regroup.
Another dominant ship with the Red Wings up fourth line. Good work there by Elmer Soderblom and Michael Rasmussen.
Seider tapping it ahead to Larkin. Bounced it off the board. Trying to go through defenders. Bennett will intercept. Quickly handed ahead to Samoskevich over the blue line. He's knocked to the ice, gets up quickly. Samoskevich turns and fires way wide of the target.
We're going to be careful now defensively. Don't want to be any clutching and grabbing. Very easy for the referee to give him a minor penalty now.
Appleton thought about passing. Instead, he charges over the line, drops it back to Larkin, who'll scoot it into the corner.
That's a smart play there by Mason Appleton. Not risking turning that puck over at the Florida Panther blue line.
Appleton, long shot from the right point. Make that Bernard Docker sticked away by the goaltender Bobrovsky. Bernard Docker holds it in, slides it over. Johansson shoots it off the end boards, and Bobrovsky taking no chances, just freezes that puck along the far goalpost.
The double shift from James Van Riemsdyk. Same thing for the Red Wing captain Dylan Larkin, right back out there after extensive time on the power play. He's had a very strong game here tonight. Larkin, he's picked up 2 assists.
So the Red Wings do the damage here in the second period. Get an even strength goal by Appleton, a power play goal by Patrick Kane, and we've got a timeout. 6:39 to go, second period. It's the Red Wings 2 and the Panthers nothing. This is the Detroit Red Wings Radio Network presented by LMCU. You'll love banking here.
Dearborn brand products are a taste of tradition, supporting the Wings because nobody represents tradition better in sports. Hockey season and the holidays are the best with the torch glazed spiral ham. Available all over Metro Detroit and at our Dearborn and Roseville factory outlets. While there, pick up some of our famous kielbasa, smoked, fresh, and holiday. Visit DearbornBrand.com for locations near you. Find ham, sausage, hot dogs, and snacks. Heading north this fall? Don't forget about our extensive line of snack sticks and jerky. Start the hunt off on Target at DearbornBrand.com.
In every home, someone is always too cold or too warm.
What's the temperature in here? I'll just...
And then there's someone who's trying to save money.
Step away from the thermostat.
Well, DTE wants to help with both. Seal air leaks, add insulation, and change filters regularly to save up to $200 a year. And stay comfortable, too.
Ah, warm and cozy.
Get more tips at dteenergy.com/saveenergy. DTE.
Hate's a strong word, but if you bought your home or refinanced in the last few years, you probably don't love your monthly mortgage payment. Well, rates have finally dropped and refis are back. So don't wait another day to connect with your local home loan expert at mortgagematchup.com. They'll work with you on a personalized refi plan that can help you save money now and for years to come. Don't hate your rate. Refi now. Go to mortgagematchup.com. Powered by United Wholesale Mortgage LLC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 3038. Licensed in all 50 states and the District of Columbia.
The Red Wings face off against Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers Sunday, October 19th. Want to see you here at Little Caesars Arena. Bring the energy. Don't miss the action this Sunday. Grab tickets now at DetroitRedWings.com/tickets.
The big good win for Edmonton last night on the road against the New York Rangers at Madison Square Garden. 2-0-1, 5 points in their first 3 games.
Here's Casper indeed. 2-0 lead for the Red Wings on goals by Appleton and Kane. Kane came on the power play. Casper knocked down, gets quickly after the puck, and now it's floated in behind the goal. Gadjevich tapped it up the left side off the body of Edmondson right to DeBrincat. His shot was blocked, never got through to Bobrovsky. Up the right side, Greer tapped it up across the Red Wing blue line, and now it's Sandy Pellica. He tried to hit Casper in center ice with a pass. This one travels the length of the ice. Icing called against Detroit.
And the Wings have had quality shifts from all 4 lines tonight, and that's really caused some problems for head coach Paul Maurice and the Florida Panthers. How about Jack Eichel leads the National Hockey League in the scoring, actually tied with Kirill Kaprizov. Both of the players have 4 goals, 9 points to start this season. How about Matt Boldy? He's off to a quick start as well for those Minnesota Wild. 4 goals on the season for Boldy.
Out of town, Ottawa and Buffalo deadlock 2-2. That game is midway through the second period.
Well, that'd be a nervous crowd in Buffalo. The team's dropped 3 consecutive games to start the season. They want to win badly.
Marchand turned, firing and scoring. He circled in behind the Red Wing goal, came off to the side of the net, and shot it behind Talbot. And the Panthers celebrate. They're on the board with 5:55 to go in the second period. Now the Red Wings 2 and Florida 1.
Well, we saw him do it many, many years in the Boston Bruins. Just a great effort by Brad Marchand, and really found himself late last year, regular season with the Panthers, and so good in the playoffs and the run to the Stanley Cup. But a quick little spinorama shot that time. Cam Talbot was down on his pads. It bounced between his pads across that goal line, and just like that, the Panthers are right back in it.
Seen him score a lot of goals with the Boston Bruins that way, where he'll circle the net and come out to like the inside rim of the right circle, or maybe even towards the face-off dot, and then get a shot away and score.
He was something in that Boston uniform for so many years and playing in that top line with Teresa Bergeron, David Pastrnak. David Pastrnak, the only player still left from that trio with the Boston Bruins, off 2 on a surprising start.
Marchand puts the Panthers on the board. 1-goal hockey game in front, trying to redirect. Now a shot. Talbot the save as Sam Reinhart tried to score.
What a great job by Sam Reinhart down the low. Actually moved the puck around Andrew Kopp and got that shot away. Got a lot on it and just did miss that far goal post. That close to tying it up. Panthers right back on the attack.
Reinhart to Ekblad at the right point. Quickly to Forsling. Left face-off circle. Rodriguez with a wrister wide of the goal, and that one ends up off the glass and into the protective netting. So we've got a timeout. The Panthers get the goal from Marchand. It's now a 1-goal hockey game with 5:14 to go in the second period. Red Wings 2, Florida 1. This is your home for Detroit Red Wings hockey, presented by LMCU. You'll love banking here.
I'm Dan Campbell, head coach of the Detroit Lions. Grit, honesty, hustle. These things are important to me, and that's why I partnered with the Bernsteins. They work quickly to make things right after an accident. They do it with compassion and integrity, and they do it for Michigan families like yours. That's why calling Sam is the best call you can make if you're injured in an accident. The Bernsteins, great family, great lawyers. If you're injured in an accident, get the Bernstein advantage.
Injured? 1-800-CALL-SAM.
The weather's about to take a turn for the worse. So turn to Wallside for this never-before offer. Half off every Wallside window plus 81 months no interest or an extra 18% off for cash. Get your new windows fast before the weather turns and save like never before. Half off every window plus 81 months no interest or an extra 18% off for cash. Call 1-800-521-7800. or go to wallside.com.
After beating colon cancer, I'm turning setbacks into comebacks. I am Henry.
I'm pain-free and at full strength after spine surgery. I am Henry.
A life-saving delivery ensured my shift could continue. I am Henry.
When you need care to get you back on your game, trust the only care team chosen as the official team physicians for the Detroit Red Wings. Henry Ford Health. We are Henry.
Brad Marchand putting the Florida Panthers on the board from Lundell at 14:05. 1,105 career games for Brad Marchand. 427 goals in his career.
He signed a long-term extension with these Florida Panthers. I think he will get to that 500-goal plateau playing this Florida Panther team.
Think he's Hall of Fame worthy, Paul, at the end of his career?
Yes. Won the Stanley Cup now with two different teams. Yes, definitely. And again, just the fact of what he brings, the leadership he's brought to the Boston Bruins, and now with these Florida Panthers, definitely in my mind should get him.
Marchand from the face-off, spinning away from traffic in the corner, but not giving him an inch was Sandin Pellikka, the rookie defenseman who took the puck away and moves it in behind the Red Wing goal. Evanson to Sandin Pellikka, played it off the glass and out of play along the
hit the
side.
glass.
I think it hit the glass.
Red Wings are saying it bounced off the glass. That's Mason Appleton. He's directing traffic out there. I'm not sure if the referees, the line's going to listen to him.
Well, it happened to our left, and we got a bird's eye view. I think it hit the top of the glass and went into the crowd, but we'll wait because the officials are huddling up right now. All of our plays under review this season brought to you by 1-800-CALL-SAM.
Well, they're taking an awful long time to talk it over. Off the glass, good call. Good work by Mason Appleton, he had it right.
I want you to know I had my carrot cake in the lunchroom today, so it's good for the eyes.
Just don't dislocate that shoulder, reaching around, patting yourself in the back, though. That's the only thing you got to be careful of. You've been on the injured list a couple of times over your career.
Let's call it as I see it, that's all. 4:55 to go, second period, Red Wings 2 and Florida 1. Face-off to the right of Cam Talbot. Lundell in for the face-off against Dylan Larkin. Larkin has 2 assists in the hockey game. Balinskis from the line to Marchand. Shoots the puck, it's off the blocker of Talbot into the corner. Here comes Larkin with a feed over the line now. Left side, Finney speeding in. Shot the puck, rebound, and Bobrovsky made the save on Larkin, who was cruising in. He got the rebound, but a nice, smart play by Finney just to get that puck to the front of the goal. And a big, juicy rebound given up by Bobrovsky.
Yeah, you think about Edmonton, Finney, what a job he's done. He's got that great to see. Mason Appleton, he's got 2 goals the last 2 games. He's got great speed. And James Van Riemsdyk, again, that's just a really amazing story. Not to play in the preseason, no exhibition in the games, no training camp, rather, and still be able to play at that level, double shifted here in the second period. He has been a really important player in 2 games for the Red Wings.
That was a big, juicy rebound off the pad of Bobrovsky. And it's too bad Larkin wasn't on his forehand because he could have buried.
The Wings playing without one of their power forwards, one of their best players, Lucas Raymond, but so far doing a good job making up for his loss.
And Riemsdyk got it back on the blue line. Sherratt with a shot through traffic wide of the Florida goal. Samaskevich scooping it up. Lifting it up the boards out the center, and now Boquist to dump it in behind the Detroit net. Ben Sherratt tapped it up the right wing boards and out the center ice. Sam Bennett flips it over in the left wing. Samaskevich in pursuit, so is Seider.
Seider quality's played very strong, well back in the blue line. He's led his team in average ice time. Every game he's played so far this season. More aggressive work here by Seider.
Good shoulder-to-shoulder hit Seider on Samaskevich, first of all, and now another hit on another Florida Panther.
Well, the Wings have their heavy unit out there, the 4th line, that'll definitely help out the physical play.
Soderblom with the reach, moves it out to center ice. Scooping it up is Van Riemsdyk to get it ahead to Rasmussen. He chipped it out to the Florida blue line. They work for it along the boards. Soderblom finds the puck, jams it in behind the Florida goal as the Red Wings change on the go. 3:35 to go in the second period. Wings had a 2-0 lead after goals by Appleton and Kane. Marchand putting the puck in the net for the Florida Panthers. A.J. Greer tied up by Bernard Docker trying to work his way in along the right wing. Ekblad holds it in at the line. He'll pump it down into the Detroit zone. That was knocked down with a high stick, and therefore the whistle.
And the Florida Panthers, things not going their way here in the second period. They have cut the deficit down just to 1-0 goal, but picking up their physical play here now late in period number 2, trying to get things going for their side. The Wings have held them to 14 shots so far in the first 2 periods.
Well, you mentioned the Washington Capitals in the first period, and they've won 3 straight hockey games. How about Alexei Protas? 5 points, 3 goals, 2 assists, and he averages about 18, 19 minutes a game.
And you know, Ken, they were very, very quiet in the offseason. Really no major moves at all, just coming back pretty much that same group. But again, Spencer Carberry, just an outstanding job. He won the Coach of the Year award last season. It's a well-coached hockey team and off to a great start again this season. But what a battle that's going to be between them, the New Jersey Devils, and the Carolina Hurricanes for first place in that Metropolitan Division.
Here's Verhaeghe, checked by Johansson as he rolls it into the far corner of the Red Wing zone. Puck comes back to the line. Forsling with a blast, and Cam Talbot got a piece of it and knocked that one out of play. 2:57 to go, second period. Red Wings on top of the Panthers 2-1.
And ever since that goal by Brad Marchand, the Florida Panthers have definitely come on and now carrying a play and putting a lot more pressure against that Red Wing defense.
Well, the Toronto Maple Leafs won their hockey game yesterday in grand fashion against the Nashville Predators.
And their top players were the top players. John Tavares had 3 points. William Milner had 3 points as well. Matthew Nyes had 2 assists. Austin Matthews, 2 goals, 1 into an empty net.
2-2 on the season for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Wings with a draw. Edvinsson finds Appleton out at center ice. Banked away from him. Here's Marchand up across the line. Cuts inside. Moves it over. Right side shot taken wide of the goal. Losing into that right circle was Lundell. Lundell handles it again. Moves it into the corner. Getting position is Edvinsson on Marchand. Edvinsson laid it to the line. It's held in. Now it's a pass for Marchand, but it was in his skates behind him. Marchand quickly centers it out in front, intercepting Appleton. He'll just work it up the right side glass into the Florida zone.
That was loose to run on the pass, and that was a wasted opportunity. More good work by Brad Marchand. He was backing behind the defense. If that pass is on target, a chance to tie it up at 2 goals apiece.
2:10 to play, second period. 1 goal lead for the Red Wings, 2-1. Wings shoot it in and now make a change on the go. Bobrovsky settles it back down, got it behind the goal to Ekblad. Now it's worked up the boards and out to center by Gadovich. It comes back to the Detroit zone, and around the boards it comes to Ekblad, who pinches down low to get it to Sam Bennett. Bennett checked in along the corner boards. Sherratt bumped it out to center ice. Foot race inside the zone. Kane trying to take it away from Forsling. He did. Lifted his stick. Now moves it back in the line to Ben Sherratt. Sherratt dumped it behind the goal. Casper to DeBrincat. Back to the blue line. Good passing by the Red Wings. Sherratt with a shot, and that one just wide of the goal. So sure, Bobrovsky saw that shot from long range. Back in the line it comes. Sider handles it for Detroit. At the left point, played it off a stick. DeBrincat turns, moves it in front to Casper, and it was intercepted for a moment by Bennett. Bennett on a backhand to get away from Kane. Strides out to the center ice area, and now lifts that puck softly into the corner as Florida will change on the go. Now to 1:09 to go in the second period. A 1-goal lead for Detroit, 2-1. Sider in behind the Red Wing net. Steers it around the opposite way for Johansson. Rink-wide feed out to DeBrincat at center. Now Seth Jones will intercept inside his own end. Bounce it around the end boards to A.J. Greer. Greer up the left side. It's tapped by the player Gadjevich into the corner in the Detroit end. And icing is called against the Florida Panthers with 46 seconds to go.
And the Red Wings getting their money's worth from James Van Riemsdyk. He's played a lot here in this second period of play, and he's made a big, good difference up front for head coach Todd McClellan.
14 shots by the Panthers on Cam Talbot, 18 for the Red Wings with a face-off coming up to Bobrovsky's right.
How about these numbers for Zim Buium? He's a defenseman for the Minnesota Wild. Got 1 goal, 5 points so far in his rookie campaign, but -6. He's second in defenseman scoring. Definitely got to play better back on that blue line.
The brother of Shai Buium for Detroit. worked
He came up
around
last
that
year
board.
as Zebra and came up during the playoffs for the Minnesota Wild.
Reaching in, Van Riemsdyk got it across. Johansson with a slap shot, knocked away with a pad. Maybe the blocker of Bobrovsky, a centering attempt. Now look out, the Wings getting worked over here in there, trying to cause some havoc. Luke Cunnin. And in there, too, is the defenseman Nico Mikkola. JT Compher in the middle of the pile. 29.7 seconds to go in the second period.
And the Wings just got to close things out here in the second period. Take that one goal lead into the locker room and try and win the final 20 minutes of play. Won't be easy against the Stanley Cup champion, but the Wings have given the Panthers all they've wanted through the first 40 minutes.
Anton Lundell, who assisted on the Marchand goal. This is game number 300 in his National Hockey League career tonight.
That's James Van Riemsdyk. He's right back out there again with the third line this time. JT Compher now swings on that Red Wing bench, but boy, he's played a lot in this second period, Van Riemsdyk, and he's still out there.
Larkin wins the draw. Rancic Nygaard with a quick shot, a snapper off a leg and out of play in that far corner. Yep, so you got Larkin, Van Riemsdyk, and Michael Rancic Nygaard up front.
And Albert Johansson now has moved back up with Simon Edvinsson. They two played so well last year going down the stretch.
26 seconds to go. 2-1 lead for Detroit from the draw. Larkin comes away with a puck after winning the faceoff. Turns, fires, and Bobrovsky low to the ice. Scooped that one off the ice with a glove hand. He'll hang on to it.
Well, the Wings just grinding it out now, going down the stretch in the second period. Another faceoff won by Dylan Larkin. Got it back to Simon Evans. He let it go. Van Riemsdyk down in front. He loves being in front of the other team's goal. What an impact he's had since starting to play in 2 games. James Van Riemsdyk.
The cerebral hockey player. Now the Wings win the draw. Rancic Nygaard, who can really shoot the puck shot. It was deflected wide of the goal.
Another face-off in the offensive zone, won by Dylan Larkin.
Rodriguez in behind his net. Checked off the puck by Michael Rancic Nygaard, who lost his stick on the play. And now Forsling strides out the center, 3-on-2. Pass over the blue line. Reinhart into the corner, and there goes the horn, and the period comes to a close. So all the scoring coming in the middle period. Appleton and Kane for the Red Wings. Marchand for the Florida Panthers. And after 40 minutes of play on this Wednesday night, it's the Red Wings 2 and the Florida Panthers 1.
Been a good battle between these two Atlantic Division teams, but I think the Florida Panthers a little bit fortunate. The Wings really controlled that second period of play. They're just up by 1 goal. Probably deserve a little bit bigger of a margin than that. And a very important third period now coming up for the Red Wings. They want to knock off the Stanley Cup champion Panthers tonight.
Yeah, Red Wings won 2 in a row, trying to make it 3. And again, it's against a divisional rival, and these are important hockey games.
Does not come easy against the Florida Panthers, and we'll see their best in the third period. They're coming off that 5-2 loss on the road to the Philadelphia Flyers.
Take a look at the shots on goal in the second period right now. It is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. 5 shots for the Florida Panthers. They do get a goal from Marchand. They have 14 in the hockey game on Cam Talbot. The Red Wings with 2 goals on 11 shots, and they have a 2-period total of 20.
It's just a couple of games into the regular season for the Red Wings, but again, it's just hard to imagine where they'd be without Mason Appleton. He's got the 2 goals, 2 very important goals. James Van Riemsdyk, he's got a goal in 2 hockey games. He had some chances here. He logged probably as many minutes in that second period as any Red Wing player. Those guys have been great, and then you got Sandin Pellico, although he was not in that second pair with Edvinsson and Albert Johansson was late in that second period of play, but he's had some good moments back on the blue line as well for the Red Wings.
And you look at Patrick Kane, and in 4 games, he now has 5 points for the Red Wings, 2 goals and 3 assists.
Yeah, that line's been good right from the drop of the puck. They were good last year, and they're going to keep that group together. But Marco Kasper, again, a very young second-year player in the NHL, but playing like a grizzled veteran with Kane and DeBrincat.
Well, lots of hockey coming your way over the weekend. Friday, the Tampa Bay Lightning, and Sunday afternoon against the Edmonton Oilers. Friday's game is Star Wars night. Like to have you with us for all the action. You can get your tickets right now for Star Wars night as the Red Wings take on the Tampa Bay Lightning on Friday. You can get your tickets at DetroitRedWings.com/ticket.
And John Coop from the Tampa Bay Lightning in a spot they're usually not in, out of the playoffs in the Atlantic Division. They do have 1 victory, 2 losses, 1 overtime loss as well. So just 1 victory in regulation the first 4 games. And they've got a -3 goal differential, 16 goals against, but Andrei Vasilevsky, one of the best goaltenders in the world, has not played that well to start the season.
Well, Paul, what do you think? What's going to happen here in the third period?
Just more by the Red Wings. Just keep on playing. I think they're the better team. And again, when you're losing players like Matthew Tkachuk and Alexander Barkov, it definitely takes a big toll on your team. So again, the Florida Panthers are going to be a good team. But like the other teams in the Atlantic Division, the other 7 teams, they're going to have to battle it out for a playoff spot in this division.
So after 40 minutes, it's the Red Wings 2 and the Florida Panthers 1. Our second period break is brought to you by Rocket Mortgage, helping more Americans own more of America. Your journey home starts at rocketmortgage.com. Rocket, own the team and the dream. Red Wings lead 2-1 in our 1-800 Call Sam Studios. Jeff Rieger, he is coming up next. This is your home for Detroit Red Wings hockey. This is presented by LMCU. You'll love banking here.
The Chevy Equinox EV is more than an SUV. It's your sunrise start and your sunset adventure. An EPA estimated 319 miles of electric range means more views. And when you're ready to take the long way, your 17.7-inch diagonal touchscreen doubles as your digital assistant all along the way. All of this at a value you'll love. So planning your next getaway is even easier. It's more than an SUV. It's your Equinox EV. Chevrolet, official vehicle of the Detroit Red Wings. EPA estimated range estimated on full charge from the drive. Actual range may vary based on several factors, including ambient temperature, terrain, battery age and condition, loading, and how you use and maintain your vehicle.
If you're looking for a meaningful career with lots of room to grow, both professionally and personally, consider UWM. We're one of the largest companies in Michigan, big enough to offer impactful roles in a wide range of specialties. But you'll also find a community of fellow team members ready to welcome, train, and support you. So no matter what stage you're at in your career, you'll find your fit at UWM. Check out UWMcareers.com and apply today.
Make your Halloween a good deal spookier at Meijer with frighteningly good low prices. Get 25% off costumes for you and your little creatures. Select fun-sized bag candy is only $9.99. Indoor party decorations and throws are also 25% off. Perfect for turning your home into a chillingly fun, spooky house. The selection and savings at Meijer are enough to make you go wonderfully batty. You see what I did there? Batty? Halloween at Meijer. Always a ghoulishly good deal better. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
Imagine a world where technology transforms the way we think about our environment. Welcome to Priority, where we're redefining the future of recycling and cleanliness with cutting-edge tech. Our innovative solutions are designed for those who demand smarter, more efficient ways to care for our planet. We're not just ahead of the curve, we're creating it. Ready to join the revolution? Visit PriorityWaste.com and see how we're setting the new standards in the industry. Priority, where technology meets sustainability.
People can't have access to quality medical care without affordable health insurance. At Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, we understand increasing health insurance costs are becoming more of a strain on the budgets of the businesses and people we serve. Affordability matters. It affects real families, real decisions, and real care. That's why at Blue Cross, we're dedicated to finding solutions. To learn about this critical issue and our efforts to make healthcare affordable for all, visit mibluedaily.com/affordability today.
Welcome on back, 1-800-CALL SAM Studios. No scoring in that first period. Second period, 3 total goals. 2 by the Red Wings, 1 by the Panthers. 2-1 after 40 minutes of action. Check the scoring summary brought to you by McLaren Health. McLaren and the Carmanis Cancer Institute, your best chance. Second period, a lot of scoring. Mason Appleton started at 2:09 in. Second goal in 2 games, second of the season. Dylan Larkin gets the assist, 9:36. Wings, another one, this one in the power play. Patrick Kane from Sider and Larkin, 2-0 Wings. Little audio difficulty right now. Panthers do find a way to light the lamp before the second stanza was over. Brad Marchand, already 3 this year from Anton Lindell, and that's how the second period would end. 2-1 Wings. That's after 40 minutes of action. We'll come back. We'll talk to Kenny Cott from the Valente and Rico show on the Wings flagship. 97 The Ticket. That's next. You're listening to Detroit Red Wings Hockey.
Hockey nights are better with friends, big plays, and an ice-cold carbless in your hand. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and only 100 calories, so you can cheer hard without slowing down. From breakaways to game winners, carbless keeps the celebration light, crisp, and refreshing. So grab your favorite flavor, kick back, and toast every shift like a true fan. Carbless, crafted for hockey nights wherever you watch.
All right, guys, who brought the boring, overpriced food to the tailgate?
Little Caesars Dill Deer here. Try cheesesteak crazy puffs for only $3.99 instead. With delicious sliced steak and onions, they'll still to show at every tailgate.
These taste legit! You should come to every tailgate, Deal Deer.
Oof, I'll be honest, I don't do tailgates. Too many headlights. For a limited time this NFL season, order cheesesteak crazy puffs for only $3.99. Little Caesars is the real deal.
Pizza. Plus tax where applicable. Available at participating locations for a limited time. Prices may vary. Prices higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and third-party online sites.
In every home, someone is always too cold or too warm.
What's the temperature in here? I'll just...
And then there's someone who's trying to save money.
Step away from the thermostat.
Well, DTE wants to help with both. Seal air leaks, add insulation, and change filters regularly to save up to $200 a year. And stay comfortable, too.
Ah, warm and cozy.
Get more tips at dteenergy.com/saveenergy. DTE.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you bring more good to hometown hockey and hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. Meijer is proud to sponsor the Detroit Red Wings.
Jeffrey, go back in the 1-800-CALL-SAM studio. 2-1 Wings. That's after 40 minutes of action. Time now for the intermission conversation brought to you by Meijer. Meijer brings more good to hometown hockey. Always great to talk to Kenny Cott from the Wings flagship. 97 The Ticket. Kenny, one of the producers on the Valente Enrico show. Big hockey fan. And I had a chance to ask Kenny his impressions after 3 games so far that the Red Wings have played.
So far, I'm just glad this team was actually able to take 2 from Toronto. I was expecting, I think we all were kind of dreading after the first game that, oh boy, is this going to be a long season? But then you take 2 from a team that's like pretty good. That's usually a Stanley Cup contender, quote unquote, despite their lack of playoff success. You expect big things. So I'm glad that we were able to turn it around quickly.
You're a big fan of the kids. There's some kids that made this team, whether they're at Sandin Pellikka or whether it's even a guy like Finney. Of the younger players, even last year with the Marco Kasper, who has kind of caught your eye early on from the young kids we're talking about?
For me, it's been Sandin Pellikka. I mean, the kid looks electric. He looks like he belongs, actually, is probably the way I'd phrase it best. Is he doesn't look out of place on this roster. He doesn't look out of place in these games, which is the most important thing that you're looking for, because you expect there to be your ups and downs with a younger team with younger players. But as long as you don't look way out of place, that's a great starting point for him.
Is it fair to say, I know it's 3 games, so you can't say much. However, is it fair to say that the confidence and trust in Todd McClellan is a thing from Red Wings fans? He pretty much preached, once I got my system in, we're going to be better, because he didn't have his system last year. And then you look at the first game against Montreal, you lose 5-1. I think, like you said, a lot of people were maybe freaking out and thinking the worst, but he's rebounded and beat a team that normally Detroit recently doesn't beat in Toronto.
I tell you, having him there for camp and establish that system, that was huge. I mean, a midseason coaching replacement is always tough to try to, reshape the team a little bit. But having your system in place, being there for camp, being present, putting your own systems in, I mean, that was huge for them. And I think once they start really gelling, I think that happens a lot sooner into this season than it would have last season.
You work for the Wings flagship, 97 The Ticket. You're on the Valente Enrico show. You guys are constantly talking Red Wings hockey. What do you believe the overall impression from the fan base is so far going into this season? Is it confidence? Is it frustration? What would you say, the calls you take, how do the fans feel?
I feel like it's a bit of a mixed bag. There's a lot of frustration. People are always expecting these big splashy moves, whether it's free agency, whether it's trade. So there's the frustrated crowd. There's the optimistic crowd. I would skew frustration, but man, once the puck drops, I think Wings fans just want to see hockey again.
I would say that's probably fair. I think that's like any sports fans, right? You can whine, you can be upset, but once your team, it looks like if they turn it around, then life is good, and you're going to forget about the frustrations for a little bit. But speaking of frustrations, the opposite of frustration would be this team making the postseason for the first time in 9 seasons. The East is tough. I don't think anybody is hiding from that. If the Wings were to make the playoffs, 2 things have to happen. They have to have a stellar season, but they also have to beat out a team that was in last year. Of the teams that made the playoffs from the East last year, who do you see Detroit potentially jumping over to get to the second season?
See, the problem with the East is it's so top heavy. Like you look at a team like Florida, you look at a team like Toronto, those are usually mainstays in the playoffs now. I mean, maybe since Toronto lost Marner, you could say maybe they're going to take a step back. I've always, and I feel like I walk into this bear trap every year. I usually say Boston is due for a step back, and they never take one. Boston is once again due for a step back, so that would be my pick.
You're going to the Boston Bruins, and you're hoping that, I don't know, a Buffalo doesn't get its act together, or Pittsburgh, despite how aged they are, doesn't start winning.
Yeah, no, I think Pittsburgh is actually another good one because I think the Crosby drama there, they might not go as far as people think. I've never been all that impressed with Pittsburgh's roster, so I don't even know if they make the playoffs at all. Buffalo is one of those fringe teams, though, that you have to. When you have those one-on-ones against Buffalo, you have to win those games. Those feel like more must-win games than any other game on the schedule, really.
Last question for you. Centennial season, 100 years of Red Wing hockey. You're one of the biggest Red Wing fans I know. What was the moment, Kenny? What was the moment that dragged you into being a massive Red Wing fan?
Probably watching the 02 Cup team with my dad. That was the team that I fell in love with hockey with, and I've had the bug ever since, man. That team, I know it was filled with Hall of Famers and it was pre-salary cap, but man, was that fun to watch.
The great Kenny Cott from the Valenti and Rico show on the Wings flagship 97 won the ticket. Kenny, thanks.
No problem.
Coming up next, the Out-of-Town Scoreboard. You're listening to Detroit Red Wings hockey.
Your time is a luxury. At Jack Demmer Lincoln, we believe that car ownership should be effortless. That's why we offer Lincoln Mobile Service. When your vehicle needs routine maintenance like an oil change or tire rotation, we'll come to you. A certified technician arrives at your home or office and gets the job done on your schedule. And if your vehicle needs more extensive service, our complimentary pickup and delivery program will handle it. We pick up your Lincoln, leave you with a complimentary loaner, and return your vehicle to you washed and ready to go. Discover the Demmer difference at Jack Demmer Lincoln.
The weather's about to take a turn for the worse. So turn to Wallside for this never-before offer. Half off every Wallside window plus 81 months no interest or an extra 18% off for cash. Get your new windows fast before the weather turns and save like never before. Half off every window plus 81 months no interest or an extra 18% off for cash. Call 1-800-521-7800 or go to wallside.com.
So here's the thing about Sheetz. We're not just another gas station or convenience store. We're family owned. Been that way since 1952. And when we open our doors, we're bringing more than food and fuel. We're bringing jobs, clean, safe rest stops, a place for early risers, night owls, and everybody in between. From your morning coffee to your midnight cravings, we got you. All day, every day. Come through and say hi. We'll be here cranking out sandwiches and snacks like it's our job. Because, you know, it is. Sheetz. Now open, always here. Why the Sheetz not?
Thanks for calling the McComb Group.
Hey, I'm looking for 45 3/4 class 150 black malleable FMPT unions and a dozen 2x3/4 street tees.
No problem. Is that will call or delivery?
What you're hearing is not an alien encounter. It's called PVF, also known as pipe, valve, and fittings. And at the McComb Group, we speak it fluently. Call us at 833-PIPE-USA when you need an expert who speaks your language, or go to McCombGroup.com. The McComb Group. We speak PVF, and we're built to say yes.
Score a Beer Fest ticket package presented by Goose Island, including a ticket to the Red Wings game on October 25th and an exclusive Red Wings Centennial and Beer Fest branded hoodie. Visit DetroitRedWings.com/special offers today.
Welcome on back. 1-800-CALL-SAM Studio. Wings up at the Panthers 2-1 after 40 minutes of action. Go ahead and check the Out-of-Town Scoreboard. Brought to you by Rocket Mortgage, helping more Americans own more of America. Your journey home starts at rocketmortgage.com. Rocket, own the dream. Games going on right now, just one of them. Sabres all over the Sens, almost the second intermission. In Buffalo, it's 5-2. Big game for Jason Zucker. Couple of power play goals. Gets his second and third of the season. Later on today, Jeff Blashill's team goes into the Show Me State, takes on the Blues. Blackhawks and Blues at 9:30. Jake Neighbors off to a hot start for St. Louis, already has 3 goals. Frank Nazar has 4 assists for Chicago. Also 9:30, Mammoth and Flames drop the puck. Flames 1-3-0. Mammoth 1-2-0. Blake Coleman leads Calgary in goals. He has 2. Dylan Gunther leads Utah in goals. He has 2. All right, let's get you back to downtown Detroit. 2 in the books. Third just about to get going. Wings clinging on to that 2-1 lead. Ken Kale, Paul Woods, guys, take it away.
Well, Mason Appleton, Patrick Kane giving the Red Wings a 2-0 lead, and then Marchand putting the Panthers on the board at 14:05. That's how we stand with 20 minutes yet to be played. 2-1 Detroit. Before we start the third period, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Detroit Red Wings.
The biggest plays on the ice.
He's up ahead, Pacioretty to the net, backhand score! What a move!
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Well, your thoughts after 40 minutes in this one?
Well, I can't believe, Ken, how quickly it's changed after the disastrous start to the season. The Red Wings have bounced back. If they win this third period of play, win this hockey game, they'll move into a four-way tie for first place in the Atlantic Division with the Panthers, the Boston Bruins, and the Montreal Canadiens. All teams will have 6 points, so a quick turnaround for the Red Wings. And again, some guys that we didn't really expect maybe to get that much from them, but Mason Appleton has been very important. He's got a couple of goals, and James Van Riemsdyk, outstanding through the first 40 minutes of play tonight.
And the Red Wings limiting the Florida Panthers to just 14 shots in the hockey game after 40 minutes.
Anytime you lose the players of that magnitude, Matthew Tkachuk and Barkov, the center iceman, that's just too much to recover from. And again, the Florida Panthers, it's not just going to be one game. They're back in the hunt for the playoff spot as well. All 8 teams in the Atlantic Division have a chance to make the playoffs.
Nice third period brought to you by TimberTech Decking and Railing, #1 in premium decking. Order free samples at timbertech.com. Third period underway. The puck is in the Red Wing zone, and Mo Seider in the far circle. Lifts it ahead out the center off a stick and off the body of Seth Jones, who recovers out the center ice. Reinhart got it ahead, and Verhaeghe to dump it into the Detroit end. Now it's shot off to the side into the corner, and Rodriguez turns, fires in deep in the crease to knock it away Talbot. Rancic Nygaard didn't get it out. McCullough holds it in. Look out the slot. Reinhart with a shot that deflected right out in front of the Red Wing goal. Sticked away by Talbot at the last second. Hustling after the loose puck, Rancic Nygaard to lift it into the air and bounce it up the left wing boards inside the Florida end.
He's got 4 hits on the game. Rancic Nygaard's also had 1 shot on goal. Good start for the Panthers. They dump it in from center ice and make a wholesale line change.
Simon Edmondson, watched by Lundell, moved it around the near side. Appleton chopped it ahead. Here's Finney backhanding the puck into the corner in the Florida zone. Larkin and Forsling collide along the corner boards. Appleton throws it across the blue line. It came out to center ice, and Axel Sandin Pellica to roll it to the Florida blue line. Appleton will pick it up and move it deeper into the Red Wing zone as they regroup. Pass across the line. Finney is checked along the boards, got it to Larkin in the right corner. He was stepped into, and now A.J. Greer quickly out the center, in over the blue line, got the shot away, a dipping shot. Talbot made the save. Actually, that was Boquist down the wing who actually shot that puck. Sticks get up a little bit off to the right of Cam Talbot.
Emirates Seider led his team in ice time as he's done all season long, 16-18 through 2 periods of play. Ben Sherratt, his defensive partner, those two have been outstanding all night long. Not that far at 14-42. Then Simon Edmondson, 14-31. Those are the Red Wings' 3 top defensemen, and playing very well here tonight.
For the most part, the Red Wings keeping those shooters to the outside, and that's always positive.
Especially when you got a goaltender with a .925 save percentage. Been difficult to beat Cam Talbot all season long.
Face off to the right of Talbot. 2-1 lead for Detroit early in the third. Shot by Jones from the left side, wide of the short side of the Red Wing goal. Now a centering attempt from in behind the goal by Bennett off a stick. Bennett picking it up in the corner, moves away from Marco Kasper. Skates into the right circle, tried to center it. It's off a stick, and DeBrincat will backhand it out to center ice. Patrick Kane rolls it in behind the Florida goal as the Red Wings will change on the go. Sam Bennett up the left wing wall, strides out to center ice, crosses the red line, pulls up, knocked away by Kane, carries into the zone, pass over, one-time shot by DeBrincat, and that one sails off the glass. Now it's into the corner.
The left-hand shot, he's coming down that right side. He gets that pass from Patrick Kane as usual, and he can score from that range. He just did miss, giving the Wings a 2-goal lead.
Ben Sherratt chasing him down in behind the goal, and falling down is Gadjevich. Soderblom to Michael Rasmussen, bumped it ahead Van Riemsdyk now to Rasmussen, and coming back quickly to knock it away from Rasmussen was A.J. Greer.
That's a great defensive play by Greer. The Wings did everything right, moving that puck quickly through that neutral zone. Almost had a breakaway, but Greer came back and made a very good defensive play.
Now Greer again down the other end of the ice in the Red Wing zone, pumped it into the corner. Soderblom looks to his right, plays it off the boards to Van Riemsdyk, who strides out to center ice with the puck, lifts it softly into the corner in the Florida zone as both teams will change on the go.
Another quality ship of the Red Wings up fourth line. Tom McClellan, the head coach, will be appreciative of that.
Ubis Balinskis will pick it up and steer it up to Verhaeghe, who chopped it into the Red Wing zone. Edmondson circles his own net, bothered from behind. Worked it up the left wing, out to center. Verhaeghe in front of the penalty box, got away from Kopp, swings it over to Forsling. His slapper off the stick of Brandsegg, knee guard way out of play.
How about that to skill? We seldom ever talk about that, but how about a defenseman in the NHL's got to go back, pick up that puck, skate behind the net. No, not just one guy in Simon Edmondson. Two guys bothering from behind, trying to knock that puck off a stick and find a way to get that puck out past your blue line without turning it over. That is not an easy thing to do in the NHL.
Florida Panthers huddling up now at center ice. The man who scored, Marchand, is out there with Lundell, Luosterainen. Luosterainen's always a hard-working player. Larkin out on the ice with Appleton and Finney.
And for some reason, Lundell and Luosterainen, two Finnish-born players, are better for the Panthers when they play together. They put them on separate lines, not that good. Larkin's been good all night long. 2 assists. He won that face-off cleanly. Very good in the face-offs all game long.
Larkin out to center ice with a bouncing puck. Got it over the line, too far in front of the outstretched reach of Mason Appleton. Sandin Pellikka flips that puck into the corner in the Florida zone. Panthers got it out to center. Now Sandin Pellikka trying to get on Luosterainen. Didn't give up an inch. Oh, he's going to get a penalty right here. He kind of had the hold on him a little bit and interfered, and it's going to be interference to Sandin Pellikka.
Could be a costly minor penalty. Red Wing penalty killers now have got to do that job. It was a battle going down that right to side, but that's the problem again of playing in the NHL. These guys are all fast, but they're big and they're strong. It's difficult to knock them off the puck. Fans aren't happy about it, but the Panthers a chance to tie the game in 2.
3:58, time of the penalty to interference to Axel Sandin Pellikka. This Red Wing penalty kill coming up, brought to you by Corewell Health. No matter the challenge, the response is always the same. We can. Panthers 0 for 1 tonight on the power play. Coming into tonight's action, they were 6 for 17 on the power play at 35.3%.
Well, you got one of the best power plays in the National Hockey League. Dylan Larkin right back out there with Mason Appleton, be the 2 forwards, and of course it'll be Moritz Seider and Ben Sherratt back in the blue line.
Panthers coming into tonight's game 12 for 12 in the penalty kill department, but they did give up a 5-on-3 power play goal to Patrick Kane.
By the way, Wings move that puck around that power play situation. Very difficult to defend on that 5-on-3 situation.
All right, big penalty kill for the Red Wings here early in the third. Sandin Pellikka in the penalty box looking on from the draw. Appleton didn't clear it. He had his stick lifted at the last second, allows the Panthers to keep it alive. Seth Jones hands it off. Reinhart swept it over on the near wing. Marchand to the line to Jones. Left circle feed. Ekblad, stick handling with a puck. Left circle, shoots the puck. Knocked down in front by Sherratt. Rebound Reinhart. Backhands it around the boards to Marchand, now to Jones. Middle of the blue line, Seth Jones to Marchand, right face-off circle, back to the blue line, a feed past Jones. Jones handles it again. Skates into the right circle. Pass now to Reinhart. Backpedals his way to the right point, now to Marchand in the right corner. Working the perimeter right now. Jones with a shot through traffic off a Red Wing player and skips out to center ice. Red Wings change their penalty killers as Marchand quickly brings it over the line. Puck deflected off the skate of Comfer. Now shot around the boards, and Edmondson will find it and drill it the length of the ice.
And good penalty killing by the Wings that time. Good job by the Detroit, keeping the Florida Panthers to the outside. No real dangerous chances on Cam Talbot.
Got that puck out to center and made a beeline to the bench to get fresh penalty killers out there. Now there's 45 seconds left in the power play for the Panthers. 2-1 Detroit early in the third. Sam Eskeven shoots the puck. That's blocked in front by Edmondson. Never made it through to Talbot. Now Verhaeghe with a chance. Save made. Talbot. Rebound. Swept away to the near wing. Into the corner. Anton Lundell to the blue line. Verhaeghe shoots the puck. That's off a stick and out of play, and that stick belonged to J.T. Comfer.
Good defensive play that time by J.T. Comfer, and again, good penalty killing by the Red Wings. They've now held off the power play opportunity by the Florida Panthers. 24 seconds left in that minor to Axel Sandin Pelika.
I'll tell you what, Talbot just not giving up a lot of rebounds, and had a heads-up play there to clear it away after the initial shot that he made the save on.
And Larkin comes right back out there. Michael Rasmussen this time.
Wings with a face-off. Bernard Docker fires it off the boards away from Samoskevich, and this one goes all the way down the
He's
ice.
a vote of confidence. Trent Yanni has confidence in Bernard Docker, what he can do back in the blue line out there with Ben Sherrod.
10 seconds left in the minor penalty to Sandin Pelika. 2-1 Detroit. We're in the third. Petrie rolls it down into the corner. Verhaeghe back to Petrie at the right point. Whipped on it. And now Kasper out of the box is Sandin Pelika. Kasper over the line. Throws it into the corner. For DeBrincat shoots the puck. Sharp angle shot. Save made Bobrovsky.
And almost a fatal mistake there by the veteran defenseman of former Red Wing.
Petrie.
Jeff Petrie.
Pass up the left side. Kasper in over the blue line. And he feathers that puck around the boards into the far corner. Boquist check. Panthers have numbers as they bring it ahead. McCullough got it out to center ice. Now Cunnin will tap it into the Detroit end. That plays offside up across the Red Wing blue line.
Players all knew it. A little bit of a late call that time by the linesman. He did get it to right, and a big penalty killing by the Red Wings to preserve their 1-goal lead.
All of our plays under review this season are brought to you by 1-800-CALL-SAM. Pausing the action, 13:32 to go in regulation. It's the Red Wings 2 and the Florida Panthers 1. This is your home for Detroit Red Wings hockey, presented by LMCU. You'll love banking here.
America's favorite place to watch sports is Stadium Swim, located at Circa Resort and Casino. Catch all the biggest games at a viewing experience built for sports fans. Chill in one of our 6 pools on 3 different levels for a perfect view of our massive screen. Located at Circa Resort and Casino in downtown Las Vegas on Fremont Street. Stadium Swim. Book your spot today at circalasvegas.com.
I'm Lions head coach Dan Campbell. When you're injured in an accident, you want respect. How do you get the respect and money you deserve? Call Sam. You need lawyers that get respect. And your lawyer needs to respect you, your case, and your family. That's why you need to call Sam. Get the experience, the resources, and the results that everyone respects. Get the Bernstein advantage. Get respect. Call Sam today.
All right, guys, who brought the boring, overpriced food to the tailgate? Little Caesars Dill Deer here. Try cheesesteak crazy puffs for only $3.99 instead. With delicious sliced steak and onions, they'll steal the show at every tailgate. These taste legit! You should come to every tailgate, Deal Deer. Oof, I'll be honest, I don't do tailgates. Too many headlights. For a limited time this NFL season, order cheesesteak crazy puffs for only $3.99. Little Caesars is the real deal. Pizza. Plus tax were applicable. Available at participating locations for a limited time. Prices may vary. Prices higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and third-party online sites.
Our player interviews this season brought to you by Meijer. Meijer brings more good to hometown hockey. Along with Paul Woods and Ken Cal, glad to have you around. 3 straight at home for the Red Wings. They take on the Lightning Friday, and then final game of the 3-game homestand Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock start against Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers.
As Jeff had mentioned, the Buffalo Sabres now commanding a 5-2 lead, playing on home ice tonight. Looks like they'll pick up their first victory season against a suddenly struggling Ottawa Senators.
Red Wings killed off a big power play for the Florida Panthers. Wings 2 for 2 in the penalty kill department tonight. Detroit leading 2-1. 13:15 to play in regulation. Man who scored for the Panthers, Marchand over the Forsling, slapped it up across the Detroit line. Johansson with a body check on Luosterainen, but that play is offside into the Red Wing end.
And the former Boston Bruin, the captain Brad Marchand, has easily been their best forward all night long. He's caused lots of problems for the Red Wing defense and also scored the lone goal for the Florida Panthers.
Panthers opened the season with 3 straight home victories, and then they lost to Philadelphia 5-2, and after tonight's game, they've got 3 more on the road at New Jersey, at Buffalo, and finally at Boston.
That was Alex Lyon in goal tonight for the Buffalo Sabres. Last score we have is a 5-2 lead for the Sabres, but he's looking for his first victory in a Buffalo Sabre uniform. He's played all 4 games for his new team, Buffalo.
Carter Verhaeghe to dump it into the corner in the Red Wing end. Edmondson laid it to Sandin Pelika. Appleton didn't clear it out. Following up, though, Sandin Pelika got it out to center to Larkin. Quickly to Finney over the line. Cuts outside on Rodriguez into the corner. Throws it to the line. Sandine Pellica to Edmondson with a shot. And that one's off a skate in the high slot. Rodriguez on the rebound.
Yeah, more good work by Annette Finney. The Red Wings surprised working the offensive zone. Made a good play, retrieved the puck quickly, and almost generated another good scoring chance from the blue line for the Red Wings.
Larkin shot it in. McCullough. Now to Rodriguez. Out to the Detroit line. Hustling back to pick it up. Larkin. Turns away from Reinhart. Fished it off his stick, and that one off the side glass into the Florida zone. Detroit will change on the go. Casper out there with the Brinket and Kane. 2-1 Red Wings. Third period action. Johansson lifts it out to center ice. Forsling in front of the Panther bench. Backpedals into his own zone to tap it up the left wing to the Red Wing blue line. Albert Johansson feathers it up the left wing, and now it's deflected by DeBrincat in behind the Florida goal.
Red Wings been very quick retrieving pucks in all three zones here tonight, and that's really slowed down the offense of the Panthers.
Boquist moved it out to center. Red Wings intercept, shoot it back in. Bobrovsky in the trapezoid, dumped it into the corner. Ekblad had it taken away momentarily, now reaching in as Samoskevich. Dropping it back to Ekblad, slowing it down, throws it across the Forsling. Up the right side, Samoskevich in over the Red Wing blue line. Makes his way in behind the goal, and he's pushed off the puck by Ben Sherratt in behind the Detroit net.
Yes, a great defensive play that time by Ben Sherratt. Big battle back in behind that Red Wing goal.
Samoskevich falls to the ice, moved it around the boards. Polinskis turned around. It ends up to Samoskevich in the right corner. Samoskevich with a feed, moving in, cutting with a shot. That went off a Red Wing stick through the goal mount. Petrie's shot deflected off the stick of DeBrincat and over the side glass and out of play.
Another hard-working trip for the Florida Panthers. Lots of time in the Red Wing zone. Just could not get a clean scoring chance on Kemdell, but very stingy defense by the Red Wings.
Every time the Red Wings score a goal this season, it will be a DT Energy light the lamp goal. 11:05 to go. We're in the third period, and the Red Wings in front 2-1. Wings have never trailed in this hockey game. They had a 2-0 lead on goals by Appleton and a power play goal by Kane. It came on a 5-on-3 power play. Brad Marchand, the lone goal scorer for Florida. Face off to the left of the Detroit goaltender Cam Talbot. He has faced 16 Florida shots in the game.
Face-off point cleaned by Michael Rasmussen. That very good fourth line on the ice right now for head coach Todd McClellan.
Puck down the ice, Bobrovsky to play it ahead. Lundell, rink-wide feed to Jones. Bounced it up the boards. Intercepting is Soderblom, and he'll lift it right back in behind the Florida goal. Quick change defensively for Detroit. Sandine Pellica on the ice, and Sherratt exits the ice, hopping over the board.
And a great forecheck by Michael Rasmussen. The Wings down with that puck pinned deep inside the Panther blue line. All Red Wing forwards down there, but below the face-off dot, taking valuable time off the clock.
Rasmussen kicking away at it. McCullough's in there too. The Panther defenseman Lundell dug it free. Marchand will lift it high into the air, end over end, knocked down with a glove of Sandine Pellica into the corner. On the near wing, it's Soderblom with a long reach. Throws it out to center. Sandine Pellica stick handles over the Florida line. Marchand spun him around, and now it's Lundell swinging it to the trailer. Ekblad through the Hockey Town logo, and he'll pump it off the glass deeper into the Red Wing end.
Good chip for Elmer Soderblom. Came deep back in his own zone, helped his team get out of trouble.
Long shot from the left point by Forsling, redirected wide of the goal, and now the puck chased down by Boquist deep in the Florida zone.
Right now, head coach Todd McClellan, the coaching staff have confidence in all four forward lines for the Red Wings.
Coming back hard, now bounce it off the boards in front of the penalty box, and Kopp to work it in behind the Florida net. Of up and down action here, but no shots on goal as the Panthers again stick it off into the Detroit end.
The Red Wings, that's the way you want to keep it.
Linskis couldn't hold it in. Wings got numbers the other way. Michael Brandsek-Nygaard got it in front. Here's Finney looking for his first career goal, and a save by Bobrovsky. He was wide open in front. Finney now to Larkin, and he shot that one wide of the goal, and maybe Bobrovsky got a piece of it. Two good chances for Detroit, and now the Panthers play it into the Red Wing zone. A.J. Greer, and that one off a stick and out of play.
Just a great play by Brandsek-Nygaard. Coming down that left side, he was extended and somehow got that puck over to Finney, and Finney with all that speed picked it up and let it go. And Bobrovsky with a game-saving save keeps it 2-1 lead for the Red Wings.
Timeout, 9:09 to go in the third period. Red Wings 2 and the Panthers 1. This is the Detroit Red Wings Radio Network presented by LMCU. You'll love banking here.
Since 1927, Gallagher has been serving the communities where we live and work. We partner with businesses of every size to provide insurance, risk management, and benefit solutions that prepare them for what's next. Whether you are on Main Street or across the globe, we're ready to help you take on any challenge. As a proud partner of the Detroit Red Wings, we bring that same commitment to Detroit and all of Michigan. Dedicated to partnering with you to face the future with confidence. Learn more at ajg.com. Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and people strategy partner.
We are Feiger Law, the official law firm of the Detroit Red Wings. For over 70 years, Feiger Law has been your hometown team of trial lawyers for auto crashes, truck accidents, birth trauma, and injuries due to medical malpractice. Let our team of homegrown trial lawyers win big for you. Feiger Law, the official law firm of the Detroit Red Wings. All we do is win.
All we do is win. If you're looking for a meaningful career with lots of room to grow, both professionally and personally, consider UWM. We're one of the largest companies in Michigan, big enough to offer impactful roles in a wide range of specialties. But you'll also find a community of fellow team members ready to welcome, train, and support you. So no matter what stage you're at in your career, you'll find your fit at UWM. Check out UWMcareers.com and apply today.
Dylan Larkin has a pair of assists in the hockey game. He's got 5 points on the season. Kane, a power play goal, and he's off to a pretty good start for the Red Wings. Appleton, Kane, the goal scorers for Detroit. Brad Marchand for the Florida Panthers. 21 shots by Detroit, 16 for Florida. Face-off atop the Hockeytown logo at center.
And this is great for the Red Wing coaching staff. They've worked extremely hard through training camp, the preseason, but they're getting all these kind of results, these quality shifts from all four of their forward lines. Really helps their cause, and the defensemen have been very good as well, just allowing that one goal to the Florida Panthers.
Four lines working hard for Todd McClellan's Red Wings here tonight.
That's just such a weapon if a coach can get it, and very few do.
Rodriguez down low in the right circle. Spins away from Ben Sherrod, who worked him over along the near wing.
Alden.
4 minor penalties called in the hockey game. 2 to the Red Wings, 2 to the Florida Panthers.
And these referees done a real good job. They allowed the two teams to play. There's been some physical plays, but no needless minor penalties.
And in Blandina from the south, the referees. Here's Ekblad with a shot. Save made. Talbot. Rebound cleared to the blue line. Ekblad to dump it to the side of the net. Took a funny bounce in the slot. Red Wings dish it forward, and it's off the skate of Larkin out to the Florida blue line.
It was Emmett Finney that picked it up, made a quick little pass to Dylan Larkin. If that pass works, it's a 2-on-1.
Lundell with a spin move with full speed and shot that one just wide of the Detroit goal.
He got a high skill level or what?
Now here is Lundell again, moving in with a shot, gloved off by Talbot. In front, providing the screen, Sam Reinhart.
How many guys can make that play? Coming down the right this side, the puck on his stick, he makes a spinorama play and hangs on the puck and almost gets the game-tying goal. What a great play that was by Anton Lundell, one of the most underrated players in the NHL.
Yeah, made a quick spinorama move in full flight. Larkin exits the ice, and now we got a face-off to Talbot's left. Marco Kasper will take the draw against Lundell. Lundell won it cleanly. Now here is a weak shot by Jones off a Red Wing stick right to DeBrincat, who strides quickly up the right side out to center ice. Puck rolled off his stick, and now it's lifted ahead. Here's McCullough out to the center ice circle, fires it high off the glass, skips into the right corner, the Red Wing end. Now here's Marchand with a quick turnaround shot and a good heads-up save by Talbot. That's the kind of shot he scored on in the second period.
I think he was trying to make a pass out to front and actually hits a skater, a body, and then changes direction and comes right back at Cam Talbot. Had some velocity behind it. That almost got between his pads. That's a big save right there for the veteran Red Wing goaltender.
Just a reminder, fans, Star Wars night is this Friday. Red Wings take on the Lightning. And you can meet your favorite characters on the concourse before the game. Enjoy photo opportunities, much, much more. Score your tickets right now at DetroitRedWings.com/tickets. Tampa Bay struggling a little bit right now in the NHL.
Anytime your starting goaltender's got a 0-3 record, you know you're not going to be too high up on the standings. But, of course, they'll get that ship righted. He's one of the best goaltenders, still in the National Hockey, but had no training camp, no regular season games.
7:25 to go third period, and the play whistle down out at center ice. 2-1 Red Wings, 21 shots for Detroit, now 20 for the Florida Panthers.
They lost Nick Perbix. He now plays for the Nashville Predators back on their blue line. But again, I just don't think they get enough offense from the third and fourth lines. Although Yanni Gord, who did come back late last year over the trade deadline, has definitely scored a few points or helped out in that situation.
Michael Rasmussen, Elmer Soderblom, and James Van Riemsdyk out there for Detroit right now. Goal lead for the Red Wings. Puck is in the corner now behind the Red Wing goal. Albert Johansson feathers it around the boards. Elmer Soderblom outlets it. Tripped up Rasmussen, and a penalty coming up to the Florida Panthers here, and the Red Wings will go on the power play.
Well, definitely not intentional. Florida Panther player just reached out with his stick, and Michael Rasmussen got tripped up, lost his balance, but it gave him a big advantage, so the call has to be made. Good work by the Red Wing fourth line, and now Detroit a chance to put the game away of another power play chance.
That's the former Red Wing, Jeff Petrie, in the penalty box for tripping.
He's not had a great night to Jeff Petrie. Good to see him on the Panther team, though. Been a good player in the National Hockey League for a long, long time.
Well, this is where you got to have the power play come through and get a big goal here for the Red Wings. They already have a power play goal. Red Wing power play coming up, brought to you by Carbliss, the preferred ready-to-drink canned cocktail of your Detroit Red Wings.
It will not come easy. They've allowed just one power play goal all the season long, and of course that came earlier in this hockey game tonight.
On a 5-on-3 situation as the Panthers had two men in the penalty box, and from the face-off, the puck eluded Seider, popped over his head, and down the ice, Red Wings regroup in their own zone. Big moment of the hockey game for Detroit. They'd like to take a 2-goal lead on the power play. Here comes DeBrincat, now to Kane. Stick handles over the line, pushes it to Van Riemsdyk, bounced it back in the line to Seider. Now the Red Wings get it. Regroup, look out. Seider watched by Luosterainen. You got to keep an eye on him. He's always dangerous. Now he exits the ice. And a change for the Florida Panthers. Red Wings bring it ahead. 2-1 Detroit, 6:35 remaining. Crowd the Let's Go Red Wings chant. Here comes Kane through the center ice circle. Feed pass wide as DeBrincat in front. Redirected by Larkin wide of the left goal post. Back to the line. Seider over to Kane. Back to Seider at the blue line. Chased down by Marchand. Floats that puck around the boards. Now to DeBrincat. DeBrincat. Now to Larkin. Pass in the slot. Seider. Back to Larkin. Centering pass, skips to the blue line, DeBrincat to Kane, right circle. Red Wings regroup, working the perimeter right now. Seider hands it off to Kane, back to Seider up high, right circle feed. Larkin tried to feather it through a pair of legs. Now it's broken up, and Lundell to dump it down the ice.
Brad Marchand got a break that time. He fanned the clearing attempt, but unfortunately it bounced away from the Red Wing defender right to Anton Lundell, who took care of business. Viable time coming off the clock, 38 seconds left in the power play.
Here come the Red Wings. Out to center, JT Compher. Pass over the line, left side. Now Michael Brandsegg-Nygaard to Sandin Pellikka, right circle, whipping on it. Right side was Kopp, and now the loose puck cleared all the way down the ice by the Florida Panthers.
And Kopp loved to have that one back. He's had a good start to the season. Second unit out there. So Sandin Pellikka brings it up, drops it back to Marco Kasper.
Kasper over the Florida line, punched it over in the left wing for Brandsegg-Nygaard. Rolls it in behind the Florida goal, into the corner. Puck chipped around the boards. Back to the blue line. Brandsegg-Nygaard, right circle, Kopp, back to the line. Sandin Pellikka with a drive, and Bobrovsky made the save. Penalty is over, and the Panthers at full strength. Here's a pass right out in front, a bouncing puck after Sandin Pellikka played it to the front of the goal. Sandin Pellikka with another shot, and this one's deflected off of Luosterainen and out of play.
What a great defensive play by the Florida Panthers. That puck actually got back in behind Sergei Bobrovsky. JT Compher couldn't get his stick loose to put across the line. Wild to scramble. They tried to get it out. Shot came from the blue line. Great defense by the Florida Panthers. Wings that close to taking a 2-goal lead.
So the Panthers come up with a big penalty kill. Red Wings fail the score on the power play. We're down to 4:54 to go in regulation. Red Wings 2, Florida 1. This is your home for Detroit Red Wings hockey, presented by LMCU. You'll love banking here.
Life is beautiful and fragile. We fall. We get tired. And sometimes we get sick. But with Corewell Health, we are also strong. We fight disease. We battle cancer. We come together. We come back. We push forward. When the body breaks, we break through. Corewell Health. We can.
People can't have access to quality medical care without affordable health insurance. At Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, we understand increasing health insurance costs are becoming more of a strain on the budgets of the businesses and people we serve. Affordability matters. It affects real families real decisions, and real care. That's why at Blue Cross we're dedicated to finding solutions. To learn about this critical issue and our efforts to make healthcare affordable for all, visit mibluedaily.com/affordability today.
At Rocket, we believe everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. So if you're feeling locked out of home ownership, we're here to give you back the keys. We're opening doors, breaking down walls, and doing everything we can to turn renters into owners. And we're not going to stop until we help everyone home. To find out more, visit rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
Before the game, Tom McClellan in our pregame show talking about finding ways to win, and the Red Wings trying to hang on here. They have a 2-1 lead over the Florida Panthers with 4:54 remaining in regulation.
Florida Panthers very fortunate. Wings did not get their third goal of the game. How about that wild scramble down in front of Sergei Bobrovsky? Sandin Pellikka's back on the blue line. Other 9 players are down from the net. He had no pathway to shoot that puck, but a great scoring chance. The Panthers recovered and still have a chance to tie it up with 4:48 left in regulation.
We see the best from the Panthers right here. 2-time defending Stanley Cup champs. Red Wings trying to put him away. Jones at his own blue line moves it across, and McCullough to dump it in off a Red Wings stick. Larkin first man to play it up the wing and out to center ice.
They won their first 3 games on home ice and lost on the road in their first road game to the Philadelphia Flyers. It was a close game, but they won 5-2. Philadelphia did.
Crowd with the Let's Go Red Wings chant. Reinhart dumping it back on the line to McCullough. Got it back in behind the goal, off a stick now, pinching down low is Ekblad. Sherratt falls down. Now it's poked free by Ben, who's still on the ice, and Ekblad all over his back as they work for it. Now kicked it behind the Detroit goal. Reinhart with a feed left circle. Back to the line. Mikkola got it to the right side. Ekblad with a shot, ends up behind the Red Wing goal. Larkin dumped it around the boards, held in. Now Rodriguez in the right corner, chopping it away is Larkin. Rodriguez after the loose puck in the right corner, swished it to Reinhart. Stepping in front of him, Brandtsik Nygaard. Lifts it behind the net. Sider didn't clear it out. Forsling with a shot off a skate wide of the goal. Rebound, Rodriguez. Now to Ekblad with a shot tipped in front, and that one over the crossbar and in the protective netting behind Cam Talbot.
Good defensive coverage for the Red Wings at that time. They're working extremely hard. The Panthers, Ekblad got it back to the right point. He let it through, but didn't get a shot on Cam Talbot. Took more valuable time off that clock.
Locker room interviews all season long, brought to you by McLaren Health, McLaren and the Carmanis Cancer Institute, your best chance.
And the Wings huddling up now. They want to make sure the Casper line's coming out there. Actually, it's going to be Marco Casper out there with JT Compher.
Keep an eye on the goaltender Bobrovsky to see when he's lifted for the extra attacker.
Andrew Kopp's the other player. The Wings have 3 centers on the ice for that important face-off, and a good defensive play there by Simon Edmondson.
Blocked the shot by Samoskevich as it's rolled around the boards. Compher took a whack at it. Now here's Forsling with a blast. Kick pad save from Talbot.
Got that off in a hurry. A sharp angle shot.
Samoskevich spun around, moved it to the blue line. Diving to keep it alive was Forsling. Now here's a shot. Trying to go upstairs. Boquist, that one wide of the goal. And the Red Wings dump it down the ice to the side of Bobrovsky. And this is an icing call against Detroit.
Same 5 guys going to stay on there now for Todd McLellan. The good news about that, though, he's got 3 center icemen out there to take this face-off. What a great play by Gustav Forsling. A lot of people think he's one of the most underrated defensemen in the National Hockey League. He played earlier with the Carolina Hurricanes. Carolina Hurricanes are the only undefeated team. They've won all 3 games in regulation so far this season.
All of our overtimes and critical face-offs this season brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Confidence comes with every card.
And a big face-off now. It will be the right Cam Talbot. It's going to be JT Compher taking it against Anton Lundell.
There goes Bobrovsky to the bench. So the extra attacker is on. The Florida net to our left is empty. 3:07 to go. That's a lot of time. Panthers trying to tie it up with the goaltender pulled. Red Wings pick it off. Sandin Pellikka didn't clear it out. It's held in. Now gloved out the center by Marco Casper. Panthers have to retrieve it deep in their own zone. Brad Marchand circles in behind his own goal. Leaves it behind the net for Seth Jones.
Wholesale change up front for the Red Wings. All 5 players. Here comes Seth Jones and dumps it from center.
He wings it around the glass into the right corner. Lundell scooping it back to the blue line to Ekblad. Over on the left side for Seth Jones. Now to Ekblad, middle of the line. Right circle, Lundell with a drive over the crossbar. The rebound held in by Ekblad, left point. Worked it in behind the goal, up the boards. Taking a chop at it, Rasmussen. Jones hammers it around the opposite way. Reinhart dumping it to the line to Ekblad. Now it's intercepted by Sider. Rolls it up the right wing, hustling after it to Brinkett, and Seth Jones came back to knock it away, and cutting hard Van Riemsdyk to that open net.
DeBrincat gets there first. James Van Riemsdyk was wide open in front with an empty net.
2:10 to go. 1 goal lead for the Red Wings. 2-1. Play is in the Red Wing end. Now it's backhanded out to center ice. Chipped by Rasmussen. Out now to Appleton. Knocked it down with the open net. He scores! That man just scores big goals for the Red Wings. Second of the hockey game, and now it's 3-1 Detroit. Mason Appleton with the tally as third of the year.
You know, Ken, I just was thinking is how many different times last year the Wings that couldn't hold the lead, the other team pulled the goal trap, they tied up, they forced sudden death overtime, maybe win the game. How many points it cost the Red Wings, but boy, it looks like a totally different bunch. And that Mason Appleton is something else, a fourth-line player for the Winnipeg Jets. He comes to Detroit, he's a fourth-line player for the Red Wings, but all of a sudden now, he's becoming a very important member of the Red Wing team. He's got 3 goals now in the last 2 games.
Scored the first and the third goals for the Red Wings, sandwiched in between power play goal by Kane. 2-goal lead for the Red Wings.
What a great defensive job of the Red Wings, though, that time as well. And they had some pressure. The Florida Panthers had pressure, but the Wings did a great job of keeping on the outside.
Hansen quickly after the puck in the Detroit zone. Bobrovsky is heading over to the bench. Get the extra attacker on. That puck is deep in the Red Wing zone. Puck bounced away from Forsling and out to center ice. Last goal by Appleton into an empty net. Another DTE Energy light the lamp goal. Icing called against the Florida Panthers. That means Bobrovsky is going to have to get back between the pipes with a face-off coming up down into the Florida end. All right, Paul, time for your hardest working player. Brought to you by Carhartt, proud to support Red Wing hockey and all the hardworking people who make it possible.
I got to give it to 2 guys. Mason Appleton with the 2 goals on the night, 3 goals in his last 2 hockey games. And then James Van Riemsdyk, what a difference he's made tonight. These last couple of games, the Red Wings had a huge goal in the last game on the road. And then another solid performance in that fourth line with Michael Rasmussen and Elmer Soderblom tonight. Those 2 players will share the hardest working player award tonight.
Mason Appleton, and you think of hockey players making the best of their opportunities, and certainly he's done that. All right. The goaltender is pulled again, Bobrovsky. 1:05 to go in the hockey game. 2-goal lead for Detroit, 3-1. The Wings are just a minute away from picking up their 3rd consecutive victory. Into the corner, right side in the Detroit zone. Comper will pick it up, circle in behind his own net, shoot it out to center ice. Off the stick of Bransick Nygaard, he exits the ice. The Panthers, Forsling rolled it to Luosterainen, shooting it into the Detroit end. 40 seconds to go in the hockey game. 3-1 Detroit. Wings batted up the right wing boards into the Florida zone. Panthers again have that 6 attacker on the ice. The net to our left is empty. Seth Jones out to center ice, rifles it off the glass into the corner of the Wings end. Lundell let it come back to the point, and now it's intercepted. DeBrincat slides it out to center. Rasmussen hustling after it, gets around Jones, pushed it into the empty net and scored. 4-1 Detroit. Rasmussen's first goal of the season, an empty netter.
Sometimes the bounces just go your way, and that time Michael Rasmussen, a little bit flat-footed through the neutral zone. Seth Jones, a good skater, looked like it caught up to him, but all of a sudden Jones lost his balance. Michael Rasmussen just pushed it towards the net, and it slowly made its mouth across the goal line. He's picked up 2 points, Michael Rasmussen, a goal and assist in his last 2 shifts.
9 seconds to go in the game, and the Panthers pick it up. Greer out at center ice, rolls it in behind the Red Wing goal. Talbot will stop it. 2 seconds left. Talbot plays it up the wall, and there goes the horn. The game is over. And the Detroit Red Wings defeat the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers here tonight by a score of 4-1.
Did not come easy. Took a total team effort, but again, they're still not the team they were before. They've lost a couple of major pieces, so I think they're back into the fray in the Atlantic Division, but another big win on home ice, and just like that, the Red Wings now move into a first-place tie with 3 other teams atop the Atlantic Division.
4 shots on goal for the Red Wings in that third period. They do get the 2 empty net goals by Appleton and Rasmussen to really ice the hockey game, and Florida Panthers finished 22 shots on goal. They have 8 in that third period.
After that first game of the season against the Montreal Canadiens, the Wings had the big home loss and losing 5-1 to Montreal. Nobody would have believed that 3 games later they'd be tied for first place in the Atlantic Division. But that's exactly what's happened. Good job that coaching staff got things turned around in a hurry. And how about the play of Cam Talbot in goal? Rock solid in these last 3 games to help his team pick up the points.
Certainly a test for the Red Wings, playing some outstanding teams early on in the season. Also some divisional battles. But right now, the Red Wings, 6 points, 3-1 on the season.
You know, I think I actually heard in the offseason, they were talking about Mason Appleton. I think I heard in the word it was not a significant signing or it wasn't that big a deal. But, boy, you watch that kid play, and like Emmett Finney, he's just got great skating ability. He's got lots of speed, but he's got hockey IQ as well. And what a difference he's made to the Red Wing team these last 2 games.
The Red Wings record 3-1-0. They have 6 points. Florida Panthers dropped to 3-2-0. They also have 6 points. Again, the final score here tonight. The Red Wings 4 and the Florida Panthers 1. We'll be back with Paul's 3 stars after these words. This is the Detroit Red Wings Radio Network, presented by LMCU. You'll love banking here.
I'm Dan Campbell, head coach of the Detroit Lions. I know from experience, a football team is like a family. You trust each other, you support each other, you rely on each other. That's how it is in life, especially when you've been hurt in an accident. You don't call just anyone. You turn to family for help when you're injured. And everyone knows the Bernsteins will treat you like family. And you can trust them like family. They're Michigan's first family of law for a reason. Get the Bernstein advantage. After all, we're all family around here.
Injured? 1-800-CALL-SAM.
Thanks for calling the McComb Group.
Hey, I'm looking for an AHRI certified 285 BTU fire tube boiler.
No problem. We can get you a KHB 285N night boiler with 95% efficiency.
What you're hearing is not an alien encounter. It's called HVAC, also known as heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. And at the McComb Group, we speak it fluently. Call us at 833-PIPE-USA when you need an expert who speaks your language, or go to McCombGroup.com. The McComb Group. We speak HVAC, and we're built to say yes.
Detroit! SaySarah.com, SaySarah.com. Where you gonna go if you really wanna save on a new used Chevrolet? What you say? SaySarah.com, SaySarah.com. Who's the #1 Chevrolet volume dealer in all of Michigan, where the customer is #1? SaySarah.com, SaySarah.com. Woo! SERRA, SaySarah.com.
Together, let's drive.
May the force be with you, Hockey Town. Don't miss Star Wars Night this Friday, October 17th. Score a ticket package that includes a ticket to the game against Tampa Bay and an exclusive Star Wars and Centennial branded jersey. Buy one now at DetroitRedWings.com/special offers.
Detroit Red Wings hockey continues with the Detroit Red Wings postgame show, brought to you by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers.
It's not an easy thing to do when the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champs come into your own building and they want to rebound after they lost to the Philadelphia Flyers. Instead, the Red Wings played a real strong game, got solid goalkeeping from Cam Talbot, who allowed 1 goal on 22 shots in the contest. Red Wings get a pair of goals from Mason Appleton, and the Red Wings win this one. Now 3 in a row for Detroit. Final score here tonight, the Red Wings 4 and the Florida Panthers 1.
Yeah, just a great victory again for Tom McClellan, that coaching staff, this Red Wing team after that terrible start against the Montreal Canadiens. But again, Cam Talbot, make that John Gibson, just did not have a strong game against the Montreal Canadiens, and that one got away. But since that time, the Wings have played much more like a team, getting lots of contributions. What a job it's been by Mason Appleton and James Van Riemsdyk so far this season for Detroit.
Cam Talbot, he's won all 3 games for the Red Wings in goal and just keeps on rolling for the Red Wings, and he's looked really, really steady between the pipes.
And now a 4-way tie for first place in the Atlantic Division with all 4 teams having 6 points on their season.
All right, Paul, let's get to your 3 stars of the contest, brought to you by Sarah Chevrolet, where customer satisfaction is always #1.
And we'll start at the bottom today. The 3rd star belongs to Dylan Larkin with 2 assists in the hockey game, 19 minutes and 56 seconds, but very effective, and that's not the line they had envisioned him playing with when the season started, but Emmett Finney just doing an outstanding job. He's such a good skater, strong at the puck. He's made good plays. He's been outstanding. And Mason Appleton going from the 4th line to the top line. Not many guys can do that in the NHL. He's now got 3 goals in the last 2 hockey games. Ritz Sider will share that 3rd star of the hockey game with Dylan Larkin. 1 point of the hockey game, an assist, plus 2 25 plus minutes for Ritz Sutter. And then you got Cam Talbot, 21 saves in the game. He made some big stops when necessary. He will at the second star of the hockey game. But it's Mason Appleton and the Red Wing fourth line, who I thought were really good. Van Riemsdyk, Michael Rasmussen, and Elmer Soderblom. Those guys played some quality shifts throughout the game. And when a coach gets that opportunity, if all four lines ready to go, it definitely makes things a lot easier behind that bench.
Yeah, Dylan Larkin with the 2 assists on the first 2 goals of the hockey game that Mason Appleton and Patrick Kane scored. I guess what I'm really impressed, too, is the Red Wing penalty kills. They just allowed 1 power play goal, and that was in the season opener against Montreal.
And the other thing they're better at this season, we're hoping it's just going to continue, is that they don't give up the goal. When they're protecting that 1-goal lead, the goaltenders pull for the extra attacker. They're able to weather that to storm and not do that. And last year, it probably cost them 4 or 5 points by getting scored on the last minute of regulation time.
Well, it just seemed like all 4 lines were really rolling, and also the defensive pairs were pretty solid here tonight.
It just makes such a difference for the coaches, too, and the players as well, but every line they put out there can give them quality shifts, and that's what we saw then. But that's the best Michael Rasmussen, 2-point game for him. Elmer Soderblom, he was involved. But that James Van Riemsdyk, he's made a big difference since joining the team in the last game against Toronto.
Well, the Red Wings have another divisional game. Doesn't get any easier, and they take on the Tampa Bay Lightning on Friday. And the Lightning with just 1 win so far this season, but they'll be hungry for more.
One of the things I think about Tampa Bay, Ken, is just I don't think they get much production in the third and fourth lines. If those top 2 lines aren't able to win the hockey game, it's going to be difficult. So if the Wings can control those top 2 lines, and again, with that balanced attack, the Wings are bigger up front than Tampa Bay Lightning. The Wings, in my mind, are the favorites in that game against Tampa Bay come Friday night.
And our broadcast time, hope you can join us on Friday, will be at 6:45 as the Red Wings take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Doesn't get any easier, too. Edmonton Oilers, who were in the Stanley Cup final last year against the same Florida Panther team, come to Hockey Town for a matinee game on Sunday.
They made some changes as well, though. Corey Perry's no longer there. Connor Brown now plays for the New Jersey Devils. They've lost 3 or 4 different veteran players as well. Goaltending was a bit of a problem for the Edmonton Oilers to start the season. Stuart Skinner was very good last night at Madison Square Garden against the Rangers. But again, when you got Leandro Seidel and Connor McDavid, they were on the same line. But I think they broke them back up now. Definitely good things can happen, but it's going to be a battle. But the Red Wings right now, as we found out in these first 4 games, they can beat any team in the National Hockey League. And that trend's going to continue. All 8 teams, I think, in the Atlantic Division still have a chance to make the playoffs.
And the Red Wings really played really tight tonight, and really, come to think of it, they didn't really give up too many odd-man rushes.
Well, Talbot was there to make the save when they did, but again, it's just such a balanced attack, and all 4 lines contributed. Confer, Andrew Kopp, Brenzeg Niger, they had some good, he had 4 hits in the hockey game, had a shot on goal. Kane got a goal, Alex DeBrincat made some great plays. He was out there in the last couple of minutes of regulation time. Marco Kasper was out there, solid performance by him. And I talked about that top line. Finney just continues to amaze. Fluid skating forward, him and Appleton, good with Dylan Larkin. And that 4th line with Van Riemsdyk, who's a big surprise. I knew he could play like that, but not after missing all that time and no training camp, no preseason games. It's an amazing story right there. And then Michael Rasmussen playing some good hockey with Elmer Soderblom. That's one of the better 4th lines in the game of hockey. So the Wings have lots of depth. The defense, Sandin Pellikka, had some good moments, fumbled the puck a couple of different times, but I think he once gets that confidence to bring that puck up the ice. That's a big part of his hockey game. He'll become even a more important player. Simon Evanson, good as usual. And the best pair again, Moritz Seider and Ben Sherratt. So Albert Johansson and Bernard Docker did a good job, especially Albert Johansson. But all in all, another good victory by the Red Wings.
Sergei Bobrovsky suffers his first loss of the season. He won all 3 of the home games and didn't play that last game in the loss to Philadelphia. But now 3 straight road games for the Florida Panthers. Try to get back to their winning ways. They take on the New Jersey Devils in New Jersey, and then Buffalo and Boston.
New Jersey's going to beat them. I'll tell you, New Jersey's got a good team. Had a lot of injuries last year. Jack Hughes missed most of that this season. I think the Devils are going to be a very surprise team in the Eastern Conference, but really on their side of the coin, Anton Lundell, I think he and Brad Marchand were the best of players. They didn't get a whole lot out of Verhaeghe, and especially Sam Reinhart. They just didn't get that forechecking game or couldn't get that forechecking game going and get possession of the offensive zone. Back on the blue line, their top 3 were outstanding. They logged the most minutes, and Bobrovsky very good as well. Thought he kept them in the game and gave them a chance to win.
Well, big night for the Red Wings. 3 in a row now as they set their sights on the Tampa Bay Lightning. We thank you for tuning in to Detroit Red Wings hockey for this contest against the Florida Panthers. I want to thank everybody working behind the scenes to bring you this broadcast. Jenny Hoynatsky and Corbin Simon. They're our producers, our engineer, Tim Jetski, and our host in our 1-800-CALL-SAM studios is Jeff Rieger. Until we meet again on Friday, 6:45 pregame show, Red Wings and the Tampa Bay Lightning. For Paul Woods, I'm Ken Cal saying so long. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday evening. Again, the final score here tonight The Red Wings 4 and the Florida Panthers 1. Stay tuned because our postgame show coverage will continue with Jeff Rieger in our 1-800-CALL-SAM studios. This is your home for Detroit Red Wings hockey, and Red Wings hockey is presented by LMCU. You'll love banking here.
Want more money each month for gas, groceries, or whatever else you want? Then LMCU's got great news for you. Our signature max checking account just got even better. Now you can earn 4.00% APY on your savings. That could mean nearly $600 extra in your pocket every year. Ready to get more for your money? Learn more and start earning more at lmcu.org/maxchecking.